Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. And instead of our usual hero exterior shot, I do apologise, we're starting on this slightly more mundane shot of me trying to load in the performance at the last second. I will explain very shortly what happened. Here we go. Right, and the lights are all on. Yeah, okay. So this has been a bit of a mess getting started, but I promise we'll get it back on track. And there is a good reason for this. Seconds before the stream started, well, I say seconds, about 10 minutes ago, and I was loading up everything like normal, and X-Plane crashed, and it completely crashed, which you know happens, and that's fine. And we've had it a couple of times in the last stream, and I've had it with this airplane before, but it crashed, and then sadly, instead of just sort of everything stopping, my computer froze as well. So we restarted, and then Steam didn't recognize X-Plane anymore, and we had nothing, and it had to refind all the files and so on, which took us up to the very last minute. So I don't trust what I was doing at the time, which is I'll talk about later with this aircraft, which I've had a few problems with. So anyway, we'll get through that. So that just is what's been going on for the last sort of 10 minutes in my house. So just jumping into the chat to say hello, Airbus fan. Yeah, Gdansk is beautiful, and thanks for coming along to the stream. Simfly UK, good to see you again, dropping in and out. Lizzo5, thanks for coming and moderating. Yes, Papa, good to see you. Our Discord guru and admin. We've got Nice West from EDDW. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Good evening to Joseph, Matt, Swappy S. Good to see you again, Swappy S. Dave Geimer, good evening. And Lasagna, very nice. Yeah, I do have a tendency to stream right over everyone's dinner. Good to see you again, Captain Dutchy. It's been a little while, I think, but good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Turtle Kayak, we'll be back in 3040. Excellent. Fly Guy 1, good to see you as well. Video Man Chris, hope you're doing well. Running towards playing my virtual coffee. Andy H1302, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, Andy. Chick Point as well. We've got pancakes. Yeah, everyone's eating. God, it makes me hungry and jealous every time. Time Walker, Alexander Beck. Good to see you, Alexander. I think I've got a few comments from Alexander I need to reply to on YouTube as well. Good morning, Video Man Chris. So Chris is. I've totally forgotten, Chris. You must be west of us in America, I'm guessing. That's right. Yeah, wasn't it? And yeah, General Error. Good to see you again. Right, here we are then, A300. So we are back in. This is the iniBuilds A300. We've used it for one flight before a little while ago, and we flew it from London to Gdansk. We didn't quite make it. We ended up having to do a circuit in Gdansk when we got there. I can see a few people have joined on VATSIM. I don't know. They may be doing their own flights, but yeah, great. Always good to see. Let's get some of the sort of admin-y style stuff done. So what I've had trouble with is the panel states. The panel states in this, every time I've used one, something's gone massively wrong, so I'm not going to do it. Let's get the ground services up and get some air stairs out there. I've already put the fuel on. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do as few things as possible. And sadly, I can see a problem already. This is frustrating. I don't know if any of you have this airplane and had this issue where the screens don't work. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and sadly, even though this airplane was up and running a minute ago, it's not working now, and it makes it very difficult to fly because you can't see what you selected. It's slightly different format to the I don't know if they're working. So if anyone knows or has this add-on, I might have to restart X-Plane before we get going, because this has been a much more recent thing for me. I didn't have this issue first time I used it, but it's frustrating, and I don't understand. I can't make these turn on once they turn off, and it seems to be usually when I try and use a panel state, which I haven't done this time. I loaded up Sim fresh, and now, as you can see, I can't even select any. Custom, well, that's the one I just did just then. Let's see if that works. Panel states. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to restart the sim straight away, which has been hopeless. Overhead ATS panel switch turns it on. There you go. ATS. Should that be on now? Have I missed something? Is the airplane, when it's powered up, more likely to have it work? Servers on the overhead panel on. Oh, is it these? Do these need to be on? Am I totally clueless about this airplane? It could be that. There you go. It's these turned off. And funny enough, these turned off on their own. Right, there you go. Solved. See, it's not a problem with the product. It's a problem with my own ability to use it. The panel states I maintain are very fiddly. I can't get them to work half the time, but that's great. Thank you guys. I'm so relieved. I've only flown this once, and that's why I wanted to fly it again, so that I get more of an idea of what I'm doing. But strangely enough, I loaded it up running, engines running, to try and avoid any of this, and these all turned off on their own. So I don't know whether they automatically do that when you power down or not. And I promised myself today. I said we'll do this properly. I've got the expanded checklist ready to go on my second screen over here, which is all closed sadly because the computer crashed. So let me get that up and running. But there we go. Right, thank you very much. That's absolutely brilliant. Papa H, thank you. That's and Warren Smith, you guys are the geniuses and saviors of this stream, because it's funny. I was turning it on and thinking, well, why do these screens then turn off? So there we go. Yeah, there are some good things about this plane. It's amazing. It is amazing. It's just so different. It's amazing how different it is, I suppose. Right, so let us get underway instead of me embarrassing myself anymore. Thank you for the subscription, JPF12 and Vinci Dedic. I'm assuming you aren't watching this stream and you're subscribing, because after what I've just done. But there we go. Thank you very much if you are. Right, we can get rid of the yoke for now with this little switch, which is quite handy. It's always nice when they think of that sort of thing. So, what panel state are we in? Well, I don't know, because I can't choose one. I can't make this work. I'm sure there's something I could do to make it work, but it's not happening. So, I don't know what state we're in, so we're going to do the whole lot, because that's what you do in real life. If you arrive at an aeroplane and an engineer's been working on it or something, you're always going to have to do everything yourselves to make sure that it's all at the right place, because there have been plenty of real life cases of things being in the very wrong place and causing mishaps. So if we go into preliminary cockpit preparation, we're going to check the batteries are in auto. So they are, and we've got the hydraulic panel check. Well, they've got low pressure, but we've got no white lights, so they seem to be in the right place. We've got quantities in there as well. Wiper switches are already off. They're down here in the A300s. Gear lever is down. And this is all stuff typically that it needs to be done before you power up. That's why it's here, because there is obviously a risk if you get that wrong, especially with gear levers, things like that. Slats flaps in agreement. So let us move forwards. That's at 0, and we've got this, I don't think a very nice gauge, but there it is, 0 and 0. Slats on the left, flaps on the right. Weather radar off. You don't want to radiate ground crew. That is off, I think. Yeah, off. External power, if available, established. We are running on the GPU. External power only. APU fire system test. Now this is one of those slightly more complex fire systems. There is a whole process for it. I believe it's loop test, which you have to hold down and it will cycle through. And we've also got this other one here, which does the agent. Scripps arms. There we go. That loop light should go out. So APU fire test, APU as required. Let's get it up and running. As I always say, especially in planes I don't know what I'm doing with, we'll get it going. So we turn that on. Master switch comes on. You sometimes get a fuel pump low pressure, but sometimes not. Power's up down there. Looking good. We're going to press start on. And then what I want to see is down here, little APU page. I want to see some movement. I think it has a flap as well. I think it's a bit like the... Yeah, it takes a bit of time to get going. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure. Good evening, Philippe Bofiga. Hello, Chickpoint. Wonder what you use as source for your checklist. Haven't found the perfect one for A320. So the A320 checklist, there's one available. Matteo, one of our moderators, has in the Discord. If you're using... It's for the A321, but it's a generic sort of A320 checklist, so that works fine for that. For this one, I'm using the one that iniBuilds provide, and it's a pretty good one. It's also quite recognizable as an Airbus one, so it's not official, obviously, but it's pretty good. Right, IRS mode, so let's just go to nav, because that's working nicely over there. So we've got nav. They're saying align mode. I think that's because they need an init a... Oh, I say... Not sure. Why are they flashing? See, this is... I really don't know what state this aircraft was in. I'm going to turn them off at great risk to the stream. GPS primary loss, yeah, as we'd expect. and we'll do a full align. So you give them time to sort of spool down, and then we'll start them up again. And we'll have plenty of time for them to align before we get going at this rate. Forward cabin door. Yeah, I think those stairs arrived outside for us. Excellent. I've definitely got some nose wheel lights on that we don't want on. Runway turn off lights. There we go. That'll be blinding the crew. You'd soon get complaints about that. No worries. Right, IRS fault. Yep, well, we turned them off. Okay, let's give it another go then. So, nav. And hopefully they'll align, and then we'll be able to align them in here. Doesn't seem to want any of that though. We shall see. Anyway, IRSs are now in nav. ISDU set, which I think would be the standby. Oxygen low pressure supply switch is on. That's all the way over here on the overhead panel for just above the FO. This is an amazing add-on just because the sheer amount of switches and buttons you need. So that's these. That would be off, but we want them on. Low pressure supply for the crew and for courier. I'm not sure where that one goes, but we've got the crew supply certainly. So that gives us oxygen for the masks and so on. Annunciator light test. That is down here. Test. It gives us that nice wind shear warning. We don't test that on the 320 family. VHF radios as required. We'll tune those shortly. FMC initialize. Okay. So while that's all aligning, here we go. There's still a few bugs with this, but we'll make it happen. Good to see you, Bath McNab. Hope you're doing well. And Flight 24, good to see you. We are just flying cargo. I don't know what the cargo is today. What would we be flying from Gdansk up to Stavanger in Norway on a cold night? Right. Anyway, Echo Papa Golf Delta is where we're starting. To Stavanger, Echo November Zulu Victor. Not a long flight. We've had a few long ones, and especially the last Airbus one was very long. Align IRS, there we go. Align, thank you. Okay, I think we'll get there. That seems to have done that. I think I have instant align set, but I mean, goodness knows, because like I say, the whole of X-Plane reinstalled this afternoon just before joining you here. Let's bring up our flight plan. So, we would normally do reference aircraft status. That doesn't work. It kills all the screens still. So that would be our data. So D, then I, and it's A. So Gdansk to Stavanger with an alternate of... I'm just going to put... what is that alternate actually? It's listed as Echo November Bravo Romeo Bergen. Thank you. Echo November Bravo Romeo. No route for that. That's fine. Costanex 40. Cruising flight level 340. Flight ID. UPS. Why were UPS? Well, UPS is the second biggest operator still of this aircraft. They still have it. They still have, I wrote it down, 52. There you go. 52 of these A300. Let me get the name right. B4-605R. Is that the one we're in? There's so many variants on this original Airbus. But yeah, they are a big operator of it, and they're upgrading it. Even now, they're going to spend time and money to update it. Simfly UK, good evening. And hope you're doing well. IRS is a black art. This is Flight 24. I know roughly what it does, but how, why, and what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So whenever it's developed by NASA, it means it's too much for us to really, truly know the details of. Just maybe some principles if we're lucky. Okay, so that's the init page. Cruise winds. Well, I can put in an average wind. I wonder if it'll let me do that. It's a -67. Expecting strong headwinds for this flight, but it's still only 1 hour 34. So I promise it won't be as long as last time we did this. I wonder if I do that. I mean, we're going to be heading northwest, so let's put in... Or can we just put in the minus? In the 320, we just put in minus... So it'd be -67. Is that going to work? No, it's not going to have it. So let's think. What's our route going to look like? Maybe we'll update that when we get going. It's not an absolute requirement we do right now. Flight plan time then. No air traffic here. I'll just check that because sometimes they appear. Nope. So what we can do is depart from the runway in use. Airports. Echo Papa Golf Delta. Not to be confused with Echo Golf Papa Delta, Aberdeen. Very easy to get them the wrong way around. I've done that a million times already, setting up the flight. 26013. Well, that's obvious then, isn't it? We'll take runway 29, please, for our takeoff. We're going to go via Visan. So Visan 1 Hotel. Excellent. Insert, please. So we have that, someone called the Boeing one. It's the same sort of Fallout style green LCD screen, which I do quite like. The colours are much better because it gives you so much of a better idea of what's active, what's standing by, what needs to be activated. When it's all green, it's a bit more difficult. There we go. QNH 1014. Let's do that now because I nearly missed that last time. Not there. That is over there. 1014. 1014. I think they're sequenced. Yes, they are. So good. So you can enable it so that all of them are sequenced, which is a great feature. One of my favourite things. Okay. Necro says, yeah, we're back in Gdansk. Again, your country. No worries at all. Right. Moan Aliani, he says, hello, how is this A300? Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. And if I knew how to use it better, I wouldn't embarrass myself so often with it. But it is a really amazing add-on. And it's just so different, like I was saying. The 75, 76, 777, A320, 74, 7400. These are all sort of similar style things. And then this is just in a sort of... It's the join between the old style Airbuses and the new ones, you know. It's yeah, it's great. Right, Visan, here we go. Airways time. Sorry, everyone. We're going to take the Tango 673 to Zerpa. Great. Absolutely love this system. Zerpa Airways Tango 670. This is genius. I raved about it last time, I remember. To Givar Airway Lima 983 to Row. This is the only downside, is that you end up having to scroll through whole airways like this. But it is alphabetical. Row Airway Lima 61 to, let me see if I wrote this down right, Maxim. I suppose I can see one problem here, which is you're scrolling through alphabetically, but we don't really, you know, there's not much logic to alphabetically, because I'm sure the waypoints won't be organised alphabetically on the airway, so perhaps that's why they don't do this anymore. Force you to type it in yourself. Lima 996 to Ernov. Oh, it's great though. It is so nice. From Ernov, Lima 61 again, so back on the airway. This does happen sometimes. You come off and onto airways, like rejoining the motorway. It's another dark art, just like IRS is trying to work out flight planning. Airways, Zulu 324. See, this is just a joy. And we'll leave that at Rivex, which is going to be our arrival point for Stavanger. Now, I can't see a complete mileage total there, but what we can do is hopefully bring up this, set it to plan. Let's have a look through, just check we haven't missed anything blindingly obvious. Sort of northwest routing, which is what I would expect, all the way up to Rivex. Yeah, fantastic. Good. Secondary, let's just copy the active. No emergency turn needed here. It's quite a nice sort of place to get out of. Radnav doesn't seem to be up here because probably it's a bit more old school. We actually have to tune some things. Yeah, at the NDB you can tune down here. Where have we got there's our VHF. We'll do 1228 now, I think. And transponder, yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's on TR8. That should be on standby for now. And again, left over from the strange startup I did. Good. Secondary, Ranav, in it. Next page. Let's get some weights in here. Wish me luck. This is always difficult. Just looking at the chat. What does QNH stand for? Right. Oh my goodness me. I don't know. I can't tell you that. Yeah, I've never even... well, I must have been told that at some point in my life. I'm sure, but I won't be able to tell you now. Very good. Simfly UK, would you ever do a transatlantic flight with the Toliss? Yes, I would, and I think I will if I can make it stretch its legs enough, unless we have to go via Iceland again. But yeah, we need to go to America and North America, definitely. It's just getting to that point where we need to start stretching out. And now we have a couple of heavier aircraft, and also hopefully soon 350. I'm hoping that can feature soon as well. Right. For this, you can go EFB. Let's go to ground ops. Now I've done load manager. Make sure you've done that first, then go load sheet. It will automatically take you through, but there we go. So it says we have 15.6 tons of fuel on board. Is there a little fuel page? Yes, there is. Total 15.6. So the fuel page has worked. That's good. So this is all loaded, so I'm not going to fiddle too much, but let's put it in. So dry operating weight is 90 tons. That's the CG. 0 fuel weight 110.9. Goes in there. Fuel on board 15.6. Now that's nice because the little Airbus doesn't have any way of doing that automatically. It doesn't appear. I'm assuming this happens in the real aircraft, but I don't know. It might not. Right, so 0 fuel weight 110.9, block fuel 15.6, CG 30.1. Very classic sort of CG that. Maximum flight level 290, that's fine. Final reserve is 2.2 tons. Very thirsty airplane this. Extra, we got 2.9. I put extra in. Optimum flight level 3.5. Obviously we're going west, so we need to go to 3.4. Great. So that's the init B page. Init B, so diff SRIP performance. There we go. Takeoff and approach for this. Now this is my favorite feature. I'm going to send this to takeoff performance, which brings it up here. It's got our takeoff weight 126.5. Then, dare I risk it? FMC data, and we get our airport, Echo Papa Golf Delta, runway 29. It knows the distances, the Tora, everything. Genius. Then we go ATIS request. Look at this. This is really clever. The real aircraft needs this feature. I think the 350 has this feature. The real 350. And there we go. Sorry, just having a sip of coffee. Right. That has put in the outside air temperature, the wind, QNH 1014, we know, dry runway, anti-ice off. Yeah, there's no weather out there. And once again, it looks like, well, we'll see if we can take off config 15 with no flaps at all. Madness, madness. Air conditioning on, yes please, flex, thrust, compute. Flight 24 has saved me. Q has no official meaning, but is sometimes assigned with a word with mnemonic value, such as Queens. So example, Queens field elevation, query, question or request. There you go, look at that, excellence. It's 2 hours block to block, thanks Andy. Yep, it's about an hour and a half in the air from when we get going. Oh, there we go, we can't take off, it won't do it. I'm not surprised, I can't imagine the runway you'd need for a 0 flap takeoff. Very strange, but there we go, let's do 15-15, compute. Oh no, so Simfly UK did a transatlantic flight from Keflavik, completely undercalculated the fuel, ran out, engine shut down just over Portland, was able to radio in, gain clearance, and glide in safely. Very good. Right, limited by second runway segment. Okay, there you go. So that's, wow. So that's talking about there's all sorts of different segments to a takeoff, performance-wise, where at certain points the aircraft needs to have a specific climb gradient. They'll be certified to do that. So modern airliners will all be certified to meet these criteria to make them safe, and the idea is that if you have an engine failure, the aircraft will climb no matter what, because the performance will make sure it will climb at whatever percentage it needs to. Some segments it doesn't even need a percentage, it just needs to not sink, it needs to be slightly positive, all that sort of thing. But anyway, we're slightly limited today, hence we need the extra flap. So takeoff trim, let me write that down, 1.2 down. And we're going for flaps 15 and 15. Let's not forget that, like we did on the Boeing. I'm going to try and do sort of Airbus style scans to see if we can do that. And even better, let's send that data to the FMS. Send to FMS. Brilliant. The only thing we have to do is V2 is set on the FCU, which it reminds us there, 156. Now that won't work. So I'm assuming that must mean by this point we should have done all of this stuff. So these are already on. That's fine. No pressure warning lights. No white lights. Let's get the seatbelt signs on. No smoking signs on. They're all in a reasonable place. And yeah, I guess that means these will just turn all of these on. I wonder if they automatically turn off then. Anyway, let's get that speed in to 1. Oh, I've lost it. 56. 156. Excellent. Right, there we go. Receive takeoff company data. That's what we wanted. Fantastic. Right. This is DH. Now, it told me in the manual to set -5 on here. I don't know why, but there we go. Good. That's the, I think, FMS pretty much set up. No smoking auto, seatbelts on, hydraulic power set, check. Servo control panel, check. So that's these. So it says check, so I'm assuming that means they should all be on, as we've done. ATS lever now comes on, which would have been off earlier. Pitch trim, yaw dampers on, elect panel, check. And that's all looking reasonable. We can do the engine fire test up here. That's the agent tests. And the loop test, same as the APU. Again, much easier in the new Airbus. Lots of dings. Great. Thank you for your subscription to Journo Stroud. Warsaw Centre's on 12545. Thank you very much. Let's do that. 2545. I'm still convinced I like this radio better as well. I do like the rocker switch. 2545. Right. So we'll contact them shortly. I wonder if the passengers have got any air. No, let's get the APU bleed on. Give some air. Oh, what am I talking about? Passengers. We're in a cargo plane. Right, so we've done the engine fire tests. Electrical indicating panel looking good. I mean, wow. I mean, and this is where this is a really impressive sim. If I can just scoot all the way back. Oh dear, back to the chairs. Or back out the flight deck. Right, well that went astonishingly badly. I don't know what it is with me in this specific airplane. I'm always 2 steps behind it. Okay, right, so there we go. Electrical panel, what have we got? AC load's very low, but it's running at 115 volts, 400 hertz. Yep, just as the 320 does. DC's running there as well. They got rid of all this sort of stuff these days. It's hidden away into the eCam pages. There we go. HF, well, we're not using that just to go up to Norway. That's fine. Steve Wern, £3 donation. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you for taking the thank you for supporting the channel, Steve, and thanks for coming along and watching. That's really appreciated. Thank you, especially given my performance today. So thank you very much, Steve, for your contribution to the channel. Thank you. Right, main landing gear lever down lock, down lock, down lock, down on 3 greens. These are now obviously on the main panel in the new Airbus. They actually moved out. They definitely simplified this overhead panel, that's for sure. Coming down here, AP fire test we've done. VHF, this could be a spare box. Box 3 perhaps. Reading light. Modelled, nice. Fuel pumps, we'll leave all the fuel pumps on. I'm not going to fiddle around. Less white lights is better. Engine, that's going to be off. Ignition off. Oh, no, don't do that. And then we set one of the ignition systems on there. Steve says, very welcome, happy to support learning lots. I'm glad you're learning lots, thank you. Me too, I'm learning lots as well today. Thanks for your subscription as well to Chandray1512. Right, APU's up and running, got the available light, that's all good. Cabin pressurization panel, again, much more complicated. They moved all of this into the eCam. We've got a cabin altitude of basically sea level. That's what we would expect, with a vertical speed of 0 and a differential pressure of 0, because the aircraft is not pressurized. That's what we would hope. We're on system 1, which is fine. This little triangle shows you which system's in use. You can swap it around. In the modern 320s, there is a way to do that as well, but we never do. We just let the computer do it, so unless there's a problem. Auto pressure rate limit norm. Yeah, we'll set that to norm. Vertical speed. Well, we're not doing manual pressurization. So the outflow valve is open, O and C. There's 2 on this plane, only 1 on the smaller Airbus. Right, captain standby and FOP to heat. Obviously, we want those on. Well, actually, I'll now check the checklist to make sure I've not got that completely wrong. But I don't know why we would turn them off. Window heaters on, probe heaters on. Yeah, exactly. Cargo, smoke detection. Yeah, more loop tests and so on. We won't spend too long dealing with that. Another engine fire tests, squibs, and all the loops. What the loops are is the system in the engine, and it runs around. There's several loops that will run around the pylon, that will run around the actual engine, the cell, because of course the engine is on fire all the time. That's how it works. There's a big fire in the middle of it, but the problem is obviously if that fire gets out of the middle of the engine, so these loops are all around there to sense it. Now they can become faulty or damaged. It does happen, and It will depend on which one's damaged as to whether you can go or there's a backup for it and so on. So that's what it means. Loop A, loop B. These are different loops detecting the fire if should it spread out of the part of the engine it's meant to be in anyway. This vent panel, very similar to what we have on the modern Airbus as well. Right, good. Oxygen we've done. Temperatures and so on are all set to auto. That seems fine to me. What does it want us to do? It wants us to pack temp panel, check. Oxygen panel, check. EFIS control, check. FCP, check. Oh no. I'll have to start going into the deeper checklist. So there we go. That's fine. And we've got some pressure because it's pumping in some air from the APU with the crossfeed open because it wants to supply both packs. So it looks like both packs are being supplied. Nice fresh air. Get the emergency lights to arm. We've done that. We've done that. Okay. We're getting there. So overhead panel, I think, is in a good shape. Let's now look at our departure. We said we're going to do the Visan 1 Hotel. Seeing as we're going from this runway, I think that there's not much risk of them changing that. Let's bring up the usual and just check we know what we're doing. 3 screens is all we managed today because they're so big, sadly, after our record-breaking attempts last time. Flight plan, that's still set to plan. Okay, we're going to take off, go straight ahead to Golf Delta 511 above 3,300 feet, which we will be. We'll be at flight level 86, it reckons, so it's going to have an amazing climb rate over 7 miles, as you would hope. Then we're going to go to Visan, straight ahead. Great, that's my sort of departure. There's a 220 knot limit not on this departure, so that's fine. We can accelerate straight away. All we will need to get is a cleared level, I think. It doesn't look like there is one. Nope. Nope. No. Excellent. Oh, we'll see if Waterfall Control are interested in helping us with that. And then off we go. As you can see, no terrain issues. A nice low MSA of 2,700 feet for our departure today. And then off we go, climbing up hopefully well above that before we get there. Let's bring up the airport chart as well. We're back on the stand. I did go and check the stream. That's how dedicated I am. I checked the last stream to make sure I got the right stand. We're on stand 27. So expecting to taxi out. Pushback, probably out November. No, actually, Mike, Alpha, all the way down, and we'll do full length from runway 29 going that way. Excellent. So we need to get, let's turn up the lights on that. Oh, that's it. Yeah, we need to get a clearance from air traffic control, which we will do shortly. Landing elevation in Stavanger, that's something we could probably definitely put in. Plugins, heavy tab. And in fact, I wonder if it's on. We'll just look it up. We'll look it up properly. Echo, November, Zulu, Victor. This Avi tab is just genius. It's so great to have a tool like this available to us in the sim. Elevation 27, so sea level, so I'm going to leave that at 0. That works absolutely fine. Cam A321, good to see you, Cam. I hope you're doing well. Hello, MH as well. Right, okay. Master caution, we'll clear that. That's just talking about the cabin door. Let's see, what else do we need to have set up? So we're going to get the altitude. Heading select, well, it's runway 29. I'm just going to put 29 in there, but we'll arm LNAV again like we did before. Vertical speed we're not going to use, and the V2 is already set in there. This is something quite different. FPV, you flick it up and it gives you the flight path vector there like that, and then you flick it up again and it goes back to the normal flight directed bars. So that's good. We'll leave that as that. Screens are all turned up and right. Good. We've got the QNH. Right. Brake anti-skid is on. Flaps are at 0. 1014 in there. This panel is exactly the same. They have pretty much use the same parts, looks like, in the modern Airbus. So we've got good accumulator pressure. The AccuPress, what it means is there's an accumulator in any I think any hydraulic system. Certainly there is in these hydraulic systems. So that even if you lose pressure or the pumps stop working, you can actually use the accumulator, what's left, which is sort of a way of storing pressure in the system. But it's limited. So as you apply the brakes, you'll use up that pressure. And there's the actual brake pressure here, which shows us what's being put into the brake pads. Normal anti-skid is good. We're going to do a flex takeoff. Thank you for your subscription to Zanadad Sas. I hope I get that right. Let's go back here. Our flex temperature today, 47. 47. I love this panel. I really like this. I think it's quite good having a separate page for your engine sort of temperature setting. And I'm going to put flex takeoff so it doesn't get confused and I don't get confused. 6 degrees outside. Oscar Lamprecht, thank you very much for your €5 donation. Thank you. I really appreciate it again. So it's very kind of you guys to donate towards the channel. Thank you. Thanks again for your effort. Greetings from near Hamburg. Great. We've got people from everywhere. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I hope everything's going well in Hamburg for you, Oscar. And thank you again for donating to the stream. Yeah, it means the world. Thank you. Right. Okay. What else have we got? Should we look at some more dials? They've got enough of them. What is this one? Oil. Yeah, 0. Pretty cold. No, that's the quantity. There we go. Quarts. So we got 21, 22, 23 maybe. That's quite a lot. Yeah. Big engines, I suppose. Big old engines. They probably use a fair bit of that. Fuel flow gauges, N2, N1, EGT, and EPR. EPR is hideous. We've already talked about that. I shouldn't say that. It's fine, but it's not used as often as N1, I don't think, anymore. Right. See, at some point I have to actually go, but I'm convinced we'll find out what I missed at that point. So, IVSI, ADF, EGBOS, push test, clock. Okay, I think we're getting there. You can also do some more warnings. I mean, again, you don't do this on the normal aircraft. You can test the takeoff config test to make sure it does sound. There's a landing gear horn. Should you feel like testing that? It's just not things that you have to do on the modern one. Brake fans, they're in the same place pretty much. We're not going to use those. Speed brake handle, retract and disarmed. Yep. Takeoff warning, check. We've done that. Fuel levers are off. Yeah, are off. Obviously, in real life, you can't do things out of order because there'll be reasons it's in the order it is. But there we go. Fuel levers are off. Warning system emergency cancel. Safe tides. Yes, it is. ATC transponder TCAS set. Standby. ADFs, rudder trim. 0. Weather radar test. That's interesting. Yeah, again, you don't do that until you're taxiing out these days. FMS route program we've done. Performance calculate. TRP set. TRP being, I'm assuming, the flex temp. Complete before such checklist. Let's do it then. Now that is provided kindly for us. EFP checklist. For such checklist. Cockpit prep completed. Signs on and auto. On auto. Exactly the same as the modern Airbus. Fuel quantity. What have we got? We wanted 15 and a bit. 15.6 I think it is. Yeah, that's all in. I suppose you could also check on there. Fuel. No. Just go to door page. Just clear out that warning. Go to fuel. 15.4 now. Yeah, we're burning a bit on the APU. Navigation checked. Set. Landing elevation set. Altimeters 1014 is set for both. Brake skid norm is absolutely fine. Norm and on. Although I will check that. Norm and on. It's sort of connected to the same thing. So you can't select them differently. Great. Well, time to talk to air traffic control. I haven't heard anything, but that's probably because I'm not listening. There we go. Oh, actual volume. Huh. So that's listening. That's receiving. Okay. Oh, I'm not getting a great signal, I must say.
4731 Warszawa radar identified 3000, climb level 340, no speed restriction. Climbing 340, no speed restriction, Savannah for Central.
Let's try and get this right. UPS 236. Okay. I also have a GNW UPS 236 at Gdansk on the ground, stand 27 QNH 1014 Airbus A300 request clearance to Stavanger.
UPS 236, hello Warszawa radar, cleared to Sola in Norway via Flyplanet route departure runway 29er via Visan 1 hotel departure, squawk 1000.
Cleared to Sola via runway 29, Visan 1 hotel departure, squawk 1000 UPS 236.
UPS 236, readback is correct. Startup is approved. Report when ready to pushback.
Startup approved, Wilco UPS 236. And they very kindly sent me a message saying QNH now 1015. Five. There we go. Oh, they're going to Wrocław over there. Excellent. Oh, we got a Wizz Air next to us. Excellent. I know Wizz Air have a base here. Okay. Right, so we've got the Wizz Air 1 hotel. They didn't give us a departure altitude. Pretty sure. Ah, well, I'm not going to hassle them for that. It's clearly not in here that I can see. It does say, no, just above 3.5 is the only restriction. Let's do a classic. Let's start at 6,000.
Lot 285 ready for departure. Via November 2.
But obviously in real life, you'd always get some sort of clearance like that. Okay. Squawk 1000s. Don't forget that. 1000s. There we go. So, that is our clearance done. By our flight plan route to Solar. Stavanger Solar is what it's called. Let's put constraints in there. Let's put that to map. Starting to look more like what we would expect. Let's get better pushback up and running. They're going to connect. Yeah, it's a real personal ATC. Shake it. It's VATSIM. Transponder is set to 1,000. Thanks, Alexander. Always looking out for me. Please do. There's all sorts of things I could do wrong. Right. Got out armed. Has it got vertical speed? I'm going to press profile. Profile climb. And nav. There we go. Profile climb and nav are armed. That seems better. And hopefully we'll get SRS when we set the thrust for takeoff. There's that little screw there, just like in the Boeing for that. Right, let's get ourselves some pushback, I think. Engine start was approved, but we'll do it when we push back. It's very rare to start up on stand. Although,
okay, all doors and hatches are closed.
Having said that,
ready to connect.
I don't want to make a mess for everyone else. Let's see, how busy is it around us before I end up sitting on the apron for 10 minutes? Oh, it's okay. What we definitely need to do is get that door closed. Ground ops, ground services. Let's get rid of the air stairs, get rid of the chocks. We're definitely on the APU. It is available. And its generator is on.
3905, I told you twice, descent 4,000 feet.
External power is now available, so we're not using it. So let's get rid of the external power. And where's the doors? Exits. Or maybe it'll close. Maybe it'll close on its own. Once we get rid of the air stairs. Yes, it has. Excellent. Excellent. Right, well, we've had start approved, so let's go back to our checklists and do below line. Windows doors, close, and close on the other side. Beacon definitely is going to come on now, and parking brake is on. It is. The reason it says that is because lots of airlines will actually release the parking brake when you're on stand, so you can let the brakes cool and so on. And it's also, I think it relieves some of the strain on the hydraulics. But anyway, before you can connect the tug, you normally have to set that again. Okay, let's get rid of that. I think we're ready to go now. UPS 236 request push.
UPS 236 push approved, go for taxi.
Push approved, Wilco UPS 236.
UPS 236 for the future information, stand 26, 27, 28 and 28 Alpha closed by NOTAM in Gdansk.
Apologies, thank you, UPS 236.
No problem, sir.
Down to cockpit.
Okay.
Show me where you want to go.
In fact, if we push that way, we'll get out of the way. Oh, well, we're not. Which stands will close? Was that Wizz Air on the wrong one as well? Let's go here. We can go behind. We'll be the ones waiting, which I think we definitely deserve.
So
there we go.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We've made enough people wait over the months. Release the parking brake.
Air India.
Starting push.
How does the better pushback app know that? That's really clever of it. Off we go. Time to start the engines. Here we go. Exciting.
Flight level 390,
Engine start. Pratt & Whitney. Area clear to start. It is. Igniter selector A or B. We'll go to igniter system A on the overhead panel. And that arms the starting motors for each side. I say motor. It's just a sort of a valve, isn't it? Engine 2 start switch. So we're going for engine 2 first. Yes. So engine 2 starts. Open. Now we're going to see some turning. N2, the second fan in the system, or second compressor stage you could call it, is now spinning. Once that gets to above 15%, there it is. Let's put some fuel on. Now I want to see an EGT fairly quickly. There it goes. So that fuel is igniting, not just pouring out into a puddle on the floor beneath us.
3905, descent 3000 feet, clear tailless approach runway 25, report established number 1.
Quite long engine start time that I found anyway when I've been using this.
3904 after logda, cleared logda for uniform runway 33 in use.
Hopefully I've not blocked the entire taxiway for everyone else.
3904 after logda, cleared logda for uniform runway 33 in use.
Alright. Yeah, we can set the parking brake.
After logda, cleared logda for uniform arrival.
So that looks stable to us. M1's still accelerating, so not yet. We're getting there. I do like the sound effects on this one.
Flight level 170,
Yeah, I did get told off. Yeah, I've been told off many times about it. I should have checked the NOTAMs to make sure I didn't spawn on an out of use stand. They are very good. They do follow the actual NOTAMs, I think. Disconnect. Thank you. Still accelerating. Yeah, really slow process. Just say once blue open light extinguishes, repeat for engine 1. So the open light's gone, so we can do engine 1. Start. Haven't had our wave yet.
And have fun up there.
Have fun up there. Very good. We'll try not to. Right, 15%. There it is. Get that fuel on. And then you just look and look. Come on, ignite. There it goes. Nicky YouTube says, I am becoming a Boeing pilot and I can already fly it, but the Airbus is completely strange. Yeah, I had exactly the same feeling when I first flew or first got into an Airbus sim.
3905, continue approach, number 1. Air India 1, after BIMPA, cleared to BIMPA for uniform arrival, runway.
Looking good. Our crew would have gone. Yeah, I missed the wave.
Clear to BIMPA arrival, runway 33 in use, Air India 1. Air India
I like the old style spinner indicators, that sort of line that makes it like the whole engine's wobbling.
Confirming BIMPA for uniform arrival.
Good evening, Crows the Moon. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. Nikki Bell says, what's the purpose of setting MDH to -5? I don't know. It's just part of the expanded procedures in the manual that iniBuilds provide. It's... yeah, someone more knowledgeable may know. It's just what they tell us to do. And there could be some system reason that it likes it on the ground to stop it. Maybe if you leave it at 0, it cools out while you're taxiing around, you know, that sort of thing. More modern aircraft tend to have these things sorted, but this was first generation aircraft effectively, so I don't know. That's pure speculation. It could be anything. Yeah, there's always about 20 reasons for anything in an airliner. Right, that valve light is out, so let's do similar flow. Ignition switch goes back to off, just like we would. APB can go off. Oh, I wonder if that should have been off for the start. Anyway, interesting. There we go. That is off now. Anti-ice as required. Not required. Speed brake. Arm. Rudder trim reset. Set to 0. So we still do exactly the same thing in the Mon one. Reset. Goes to 0. Stats flat. Set for takeoff. 1 stage. 2 stage. and that's because we want 15 and 15. Let's check we get them. God, this Warszawa radar is working really hard. Right, slap, set for takeoff, trim, set for takeoff. Our trim was a 1.2 down. Oh, no, you can't do it with the scroll wheel. I will get the trusty joystick and 1.2 down. There it is. After our checklist time, after our checklist pitch trim set, rudder trim 0, spoilers arms, stat 15, 15, ecam status. Yeah, I wonder where the status page would appear. If I press status, does it appear anywhere? Nope. I'm assuming that means it's fine, no warnings. Ecam status, anti-ice not required, hand signal received. Next one is before takeoff. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to taxi out, obviously. And we're going to get our clearance, we can do the usual stuff, do our flight controls whilst we're going, put the auto brake to max. Yeah, we'll get out of the way. UPS 236, request taxi.
UPS 236, thank you, taxi via Mike Alpha Bravo to holding point runway 29er. You are number 1, report when ready for departure.
Taxi via Mike Alpha Bravo, holding point 29, and we'll go UPS 236. Yeah, you can't sit here messing around. Let's get the taxi light on, and I'm going to do runway turn off lights as well. Release that parking brake, and let's get that overhead light. It's on bright, let's set it to dim. Does that work for you guys? I think that means we can see a bit better. I'll leave the storm lights on so you guys still get a view. Off we go. So it begins. I love this livery, by the way. I haven't even had a chance to mention it. Classic retro livery, exactly my sort of thing on the channel. Especially a line down the windows, always my favourite. I know there's no windows, but I like the fact they put the effort in to do it anyway. Get out of the way of Wizz Airport, guys. Right, so Mike, Alpha Bravo. Mike is going to be along here and then a right turn. That should sort us out nicely. Yeah, Bernard Langham, I agree. It looks very retro sci-fi, maybe the grey NASA Apollo fit. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I like that. Lots of detailing in it. Okay, now we want to take a right turn and join Alpha. Oh, not sure why that stopped. I've been messing around with the buttons because it didn't save all of them when it crashed, so hopefully I get that right. Anyway, Echo is a sort of 45-degree left, as you can see there, but we're going to take Alpha, so... And there's Romeo, Alpha and Echo all in the left turn, so we're not going to go on Romeo. Easy to get wrong that. But we want to head out on Alpha, which is nicely lit. Yeah, there are a lot of wacky races on the apron, I agree. Oh, if I don't roll into the runway. It seems to... I think my keyboard command is toggling the brakes, so when I press it, it's just activating them until we stop, so I might make a few mistakes with that throughout the day. There's loads of cars. I need to turn that down. I don't know how I've ended up with so many vehicles driving around. God, back in FSX days, I'd have been so happy if I could have that many vehicles moving around. Right, we're moving along, so let's do... Well, we've done the brake check, definitely. Flight controls check. Now, I think we have to select it back in the good old days. Let's do flight controls, full left, full right, neutral, full down, full up, neutral. Wow, that's confusing. That's the stab trim over there. Yeah, interesting. So I was doing that, expecting to see both move, but nope, not going to do it. And we have a rudder. Let's slow down. Yeah, it's toggling. That's going to be confusing. Let's get this right. Full right, full left, neutral. Sadly, the A300 is a bit famous for its rudder pedals. It had an incident with one where the rudder was used too much and the tailplane came off, which can happen on any airplane really if you overstress it. But yeah, Let's just check both elevators go up and down. Yes, they do. Good. That's a relief. Very different to the modern one now. Right. Now it's into the usual sort of flows. That's done. That's done. Trim's done. Oh, this controller's all on top of things. Excellent. Auto brake. Where was auto brake? There it is. Max in case of rejected takeoff. Speed brake is armed. Transponder set. TARA. Weather radar on. Yeah, let's put that on. System 1. Gain auto. Let's put it to turbulence. Tilted up a bit. Sort of 6 degrees up for takeoff. We'll definitely go for a full length takeoff today. And final one, takeoff config, which took me ages to find the first time. Test normal. Brilliant. I think we're ready to go. That's right, how do we take off? That's the next question. So let's do our checklist to the line. We've got before takeoff, flight controls are checked, briefing confirmed. So we're climbing straight ahead. Put that to plan, we'll see it a bit better. Straight head out, above the limit, out to Vizan, climbing to 6,000 feet. I will confirm that with him in a minute when he clears us to go. Flaps are at 15 and 15, incredibly important, so I'm not surprised it reappears in the checklist. Performance check read. So we've got flex takeoff, flexing at 47, and yeah, well, we did that earlier. I can't do it because there's only one of me at the moment. Takeoff config checked, transponder set, cabin secure, TCAS, TARA, packs both on, ignition is going to be off, and anti-ice is off. Ready to go. We'll go for full length. Right, let me see if I can organise my desk to actually get the joystick onto the desk, or I'll have an interesting takeoff roll. Excuse all the clattering you might hear. Let's put that back to map. Great stuff.
Whiskey Alpha 533 for straight in approach, lot 6532.
Yep, we are still taxiing. We're almost ready to go. Get ourselves underway. Sorry, I'm running behind on the chat as ever at this point in the day. Right. Well, we'll take the full length. Will be a nice heavy airplane. Really nice lighting effects by the iniBuilds team. I like that glow of the green and the red. That's just nice and subtle. Yeah, really good. That's interesting.
UPS 236, line up runway 29er is approved, wind 260, 12 knots, runway 29er, clear for takeoff, report airborne.
Clear for takeoff, runway 29, UPS 236. Can you confirm our cleared altitude on the SID, please?
UPS 236, you can take Alpha or Bravo, or whatever you want.
Sorry, can you confirm our cleared altitude on the Vizan 1 hotel? Which altitude would you like us to stop at?
UPS 236, as published.
Roger. As published. Right, guys. Back to you helping me out. What is the published stop altitude? Because I don't always publish them. Not every airport does it. Could be that all SIDs have a similar stop altitude out of Gdansk. Interesting. Let's go to departures, just in case it says in here. Pushback noise, no, that's fine.
3904, clear Toliss approach runway 33, report established, number 1, descent 3000.
That's continued, general failure.
3904, clear Toliss 33 and descent
No,
3000.
not there, not that I can see.
6532, descent level 80.
That's fine.
Descending level
We're going to 6,000.
6532.
That's what was published on our chart when we downloaded it. Okay, away we go.
Romeo Juliet, question, pushback to start. Romeo Juliet 9057.
So, cleared to line up, cleared to take off. Is all the lights come on now?
Walk out, Romeo Juliet 9057.
Excellent. Zone 1 Hotel is the SID. I don't know if, yeah. Yeah. Oh, these brakes, I've got them set totally wrong. Usually I have it hold for the brakes, but it's on toggle, so it's continuously doing that. It's alright. Long haul aircraft are always like this anyway when you're following them. Yeah, there's a minimum altitude on the SID, but there's no stop altitude. The transition level is transition altitude is 6,500, so I think we're pretty safe up to 6,000. And I'll just confirm it. We'll get further climb as soon as we get in the air. In real life, of course, you would definitely make sure you had that properly confirmed. Right, here we go then. Time to take off. Let's spool up those engines. Get that M1 to 50. We'll do a rolling takeoff. 153 is RV1. And there we go. Thrust SRS. Bit forward pressure. And heading. But that will soon become nav, hopefully. FD1. Fantastic. What a noise. H2100. Moving to neutral. Oh, we're going to use a fair bit of the runway. Good value. V1, rotate, up we go.
Continue to send 3,000 feet, reach
Positive climb, gear up.
33, QNH1020.
Get to 12.5 and then follow those SRS flight directors. And trim. Trim. Unbelievable. What a beast. This is an amazing airplane. Yeah. Okay, profile thrust, profile climb. So it should have gone to the climb thrust now. Nav. All good. It's accelerating. We're above the F, so let's bring this flaps or slats in one stage. Then we've got our S speed. Make that a bit bigger for you guys. Above the S speed, flaps to 0. Try and trim it out. Obviously, as you change flaps.
Climb flight level 340 direct Rumar point, Romeo Uniform Mike Alpha Romeo.
Direct Rumar, and sorry, can you confirm the cleared level, please? UPS 236.
UPS 236, climb flight level 340.
Thank you, climb flight level 340 and direct Rumar, UPS 236. Okay, flaps are at 0. I'm going to have to give up, put on the autopilot. Climb flight level 340. There you go, see, saved by the air traffic controller in the end. Scroll all the way. There was a way to make this do thousands. I think you have to put it. But I've made so many mistakes with this airplane now. I dread to think. 340, 34,000. Got to set standard if we're going to do that. So, standard. There it goes. Lovely. Oh, entering cloud. It's cold outside. Let's get the anti-ice on. Engine anti-ice on. As we shoot up through that. Fantastic. And direct Rumar. Direct Rumar. Inserts. Oh, great.
3904 established runway 33. 3904, thank you. Winds 25010 knots, runway 33, clear to land.
It's an interesting turn.
3904, clear to land, runway 33.
That's a really interesting turn. I think it's going to come back round now. Yeah, there we go. That was odd. Right. Well, a good way to save fuel is not have an APU running for no reason, so let's turn that off. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be off. And get rid of the nose wheel lights, don't need those anymore. Runway turn off lights are gone. Strobe lights, they can be on. They would have come on anyway when we got in the air with that clever auto mode. Already at 10,000 feet, I mean, yeah, we're not empty, but obviously we don't have as much fuel as we would normally carry in a long haul style aircraft. So through 10,000 feet, get rid of the rest of the lights, retract, let it accelerate, pre-brake disarmed without actually setting them. Secondary flight plan, let's do... Oh, interesting. No way to copy it. Well, I will not fiddle with it then. And start thinking about tuning some nav aids. Again, RNAV departures, there's just nothing to tune really. Different style of flying. Let's bring up some airports around us. Seatbelts. I suppose there could be some crew ready to take over. Yeah, turn off the APU, exactly. Video man Chris, takeoff is still one of my favourite moments. Yeah, it's always good, isn't it? Especially with the nice sounds, these sort of roaring engines. Hello, everybody. Result 85. Birkin, hello. Thanks for coming along. Sorry for the messages. I've missed a few subscriptions. Thanks for subscribing to Nagy, Patrick, and to Birkin. Thanks very much. And to Zolt. Right. Oh, here we go. We had this last time. I remember this being a thing where it was just slightly faster than I would like. Tapped in frequent icing range. Nice. So it's reminding us they could be icing, so we definitely need to keep an eye on. But we're above the clouds now. Engine antennas can go off. I think we can get rid of the dome. And the storm. Oh, look at that. That's a bit more atmospheric. That'd be how you'd typically take off. Interestingly, we've got a different. The vertical speed indicator is a totally separate instrument on this aircraft, and that's also where our TCAS appears. So that's pretty old school. Now it's all integrated into the main displays. It's really struggling with this direct rumor. Got the autopilot on. Got all the computers on. All the spoilers are on. Let's try again. Direct rumor. Insert. Very odd. Oh dear. Let's go. Heading select. Turn it back round. And then what we'll do is we will try putting it to nav again once it's on the way. And Dimitri, good to see you again. Greetings from Vancouver. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we are in the Grand Barbas, exactly. Yeah, watch me struggle through it. What are we going to do here? So there we go. And let's try nav. Into nav. I do not know. Very odd. Is it because it doesn't have the winds? No, it's just the cruise winds. It should be able to handle that because the winds are obviously just predicted anyway. Very strange. Turtle kayak. No, not so far. Touch woods, but that could change. Kaposki. Hello. Landing gear. Oh no! Don't tell me I forgot the landing gear. Landing gear says up. Yep, it's up. Let's have a departing shot. It's proof we've taken off.
Zulu Tango, stand 1919, Sierra Papa Victor, Mike Hotel, thank you.
Akash George, what version are you on? The 1.74, is that X-Plane 1.74? I thought X-Plane was stuck at 0.5, but I'm not sure. Oh man, why is it doing this? Very strange. I'm sure it's something I've done. That would be a very fuel intensive way of flying there. We're in auto on the engine thrust, so that's good. So that means it's using climb thrust as a limit, which is correct. I'm surprised we haven't been told off. This controller is very sharp. He's very good at picking up on what's going on. So, oh, there, terrain, nice little terrain display. Why? I'm going to put cost at 0. Get the speed back a little bit. Didn't do this last time. Aviaman, good to see you. No formation flight tonight, I see. No. Aviaman, there was the Simwings community group flight yesterday, where a few people go along and somebody usually streams it, and Simwings group raise money to get computers to people who can't otherwise get them for their flight simulators. I know I mentioned this the other day to everyone watching, so that was the group flight was yesterday, so I joined in for a little bit of that. It was good fun, yeah, and I think it did well for Simwings, I think, Aviaman, is that right? It looked like it was at the time when I was there anyway, and I think it went on for a bit longer, or a fair bit longer after that as well. Ah, you've got 3 positions for the landing gear. Did you turn it off? Okay. There we go. Off. And that would probably be written in the checklist if I'd bothered to do it. Right, slat slaps retracted at 0. Landing gear up, neutral. Packs on, altimeters set. Yes, they are. Excellent. Great spot. Thanks very much. Next one is approach. Now, why won't it go in a straight line to Rumar? It was all aligned. It was all very happy. We can't really do... actually, we can do reference, position monitor. It's got GPS. All happy. Great. Reference, position monitor. It's all tunes. All nice and accurate. There's paid navigate. That's fine. It's funny. I mean, this is a... I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything because the last thing I said about this was it was entirely my fault. So we'll find out. Wow, 1.6 thousand US. Brilliant, Heavy Man. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, great to know it's worked so well. Baffling Lab. Yeah, it does. It does look like the plane doesn't know where it's going. I would be. Is it definitely nav? Definitely profile thrust, profile climb.
Information Charlie, you are number 2.
Flight control issue would be the next assumption. Is there a problem with the rudder? Let's have a look at flight control. I mean, we had no trouble on takeoff. Rudder's fine. And obviously it's moving the roll spoilers as it banks around. But that's sort of it, just commanding that. So it's not that. That's it. We've got no status messages of any variety to bring up. Status, no. Well, obviously conditions not going to show us anything. It's all very happy. I'm going to have to hope that it sorts itself out by the next waypoint. Maybe we'll request another waypoint. That might help us out. Where should we try and go to? Maxim? Reset rudder? Yeah, we could try the rudder. It doesn't look like it's moving, but give that a go. Try the other autopilot. Let's go with autopilot 2. See if that one's any better. FD1, FD2. Yeah, both sides have got flight directors. Wow, you'd be feeling really sick by now. Okay, maybe just recycling the autopilot. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to put the light on. Don't bring up the joke, because I haven't got this assigned properly. Let's wait until it's in a roughly similar position. Autopilot off. Oh, bit out of trim. Right. Autopilot on. Nav.
UPS 236, contact with and control 118.40. Thank you, bye.
118.40 UPS 236. Thank you. Bye bye. Oh, I'm not convinced. 118. 40. It's not having it at all, is it?
Was that Thomas Cook 79er Mike Zulu?
Okay, we're with Sweden.
You are identified.
I think. Was that Sweden? Let's have a check.
Yeah, they are something, not why.
118.4. Yeah. Yes. Good. Sweden, good evening. UPS 236, flight level 340 to Rumar.
Hello, UPS 236, Sweden control identified.
Okay.
Aeroflot 2.
I'm going to try and steer it direct.
Contact Copenhagen approach 119.8. Bye bye. 109.8.
As against George, yep, you do get caught up with these jets trying to keep it all together, definitely. Yeah, we didn't add the winds on the init page. It's very odd. UPS 236, request direct to Maxim. I'd probably try that in real life as well. There'd be no point flying around that turn.
UPS 236, direct Maxim.
Thank you, direct Maxim, UPS 236. Yeah, you'd definitely want to try and get that in real life. Fingers crossed. Ah, man, it's really aggressive, isn't it, with its turning? It's got a steady wind. 94 knot wind. Oh, dear. It's got a strong headwind. You can see the track is slightly to the right, so it should be putting that track on that white line.
Embraer 174, taxi and line up runway 29er via backtrack, report ready. Okay, taxi and line up runway 29er via backtrack, reporting when ready, Embraer 174. Bizarre. Yeah, maybe there's a swimming pool in the back. Once I stopped entering the winds, I stopped having these issues. Okay, yeah, right. So I actually didn't manage to enter the wind, strangely, at the start. So, Yes, 236, squawk 7047, please.
Squawk 7047, UPS 236. Well, this is going to be an interesting flight. 7047. 47. That is a problem with scrolling style transponders, is that you end up scrolling through every other combination. So in a real aircraft, in the smaller German aviation aircraft, you'd actually put it to standby before you did that. But in modern airliners, you can just type them in normally. So I don't know if that just scrolled through every possible transponder combination, or maybe it has a system that stops it doing that. Oh dear, this is hopeless. What else could it be? There's no lights, no cautions or warnings. Everything's okay up there. Fuel's in the right place, is it? Yeah, it's all balanced. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I agree. Foxtrot, we're going to do it. There is a slight issue, which is if we decide that the autopilot doesn't work, in theory, we're not allowed to be up here. And it's hard to know whether it's a... Oh, it does seem to be out of trim as well.
Sweet control, good evening, American 750.
It does seem to have...
American 7, Sweden control.
It seems to be the flight directors are the problem. The flight guidance is confused. Because the autopilot will just follow the flight directors. So if I now follow the flight directors, it's just going to do the same thing. Maybe. Let's see. I need to turn down the sensitivity curves on this, though. It could be X-planes just loading in hideous winds. Well, that seems to have worked so far. And for the first time... Yeah, okay, we're tracking the line. So, in real life, if you decide the autopilot isn't working, we can't stay up here because we're in RVSM airspace now. Reduced vertical separation minimum, I think. Anyway, what it means is you have to have certain equipment to be up here. You're not allowed to fly here without, for example, an autopilot or certain systems as backup. And it's because these altimeters get less sensitive and so on. They're not as accurate the higher up you are because air pressure is less. And as a result, to fly within 1,000 feet of each other was quite a big advancement in technology. Right, let's put it on about 2. Usually the giveaway is if it's not following the flight director. Oh, that might have solved it. Foxtrot might be the mechanic today. Yeah, or we're dragging a GPU along underneath. Look at that. So that's really convenient because I need to go for a break in a minute, and I was I was going to have fun trying to have a break if the plane's rocking 30 degrees left and right. Thank you very much, Foxtrot. Look at that. Oh well, reassuring that maybe it wasn't entirely my fault, but I wouldn't be surprised. Nav, yep, Nav was already on Nav. Yeah, but thanks. It was everything's worth trying. Concorde DNA in this plane. Yeah. Green, blue, yellow electrical systems. Is that how they labelled the electrics in this one? Certainly got green, blue, yellow hydraulics up here, which is still the case on the 320 family. I don't know if they've labelled the different electric systems or not. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good fun. This is a really unique sort of plane. Like I say, I had the Simcheck A300 a long time ago in FSX, and I really liked that. And this has got the same thing. I wonder if it's... No. It's not. It is acting like 746. Yeah, it's strange. I mean, there's no computers in this thing to be getting that confused unless it's the autopilot. I wouldn't have thought. Even in the modern family aircrafts, there's very few. Thanks for your subscription to Mad Mushroom. That's another good name. Reduce vertical separation. Yeah, Jen Timothy. Yeah, exactly. That's the phrase used for flying around up above flight level 290 when you're only 1,000 feet. It used to be that you had to fly more than 1,000 feet apart, but as airspace got busier, they needed to improve that situation. So we can now fly within 1,000 feet of each other vertically, even if you're in the same sort of position. As long as you're 1,000 feet vertically, that's fine. But 1,000 feet looks close. Passengers are always surprised, and you see it a lot on YouTube. You know, you'll see titles showing how shocking it is, how close these other aircraft are. But the reality is, it's totally fine. Obviously, it's fine. It's just 1,000 feet. It just looks a lot closer than you'd imagine, because it's very rare to be 1,000 feet and very close to another airliner. The A300 is still flying. Shake it in real life. Oh, great. I get to use my Wikipedia facts twice in a stream, so I'll take that. UPS still operates. I wrote it down. 52. There you go. 52 are still in service. They're going to retrofit them with some extra avionics. Mad Russian, thanks for coming along. I'm glad you found the channel too.
05 transition level 65. 155, then we would like to do a visual this evening via Golf Tango 633 if that's...
I didn't expect to have VATSIM coverage for so much of the flights. I might have to
Sky Express 411,
explain myself to them soon.
Via Golf Tango 633. Thanks.
Emirates 174 is lined up runway 29 ready for takeoff.
Emirates 174, runway 29 cleared for takeoff.
I must remember to close these screens before going to the outside view, because they seem to freeze, and that's a bit concerning. There you go, you can have a nice cozy look at an airliner in flight at night.
Bavarian 666, taxi line up runway 21 via Alpha and backtrack report when ready. Taxi via Alpha, backtrack runway 21, report when ready, goodbye.
Right, guys. Okay, what I'm going to do is we're now quite happy up in our cruise. Jenna Stroud, yep, you've got the Streamlabs bot can help you out there. So we're out over the ocean, and we are going to head up
505 Golf Charlie is winning control.
north. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that.
Should change the score.
Stavanger.
Score 7072, please.
Map, and here we go.
7072 for November 5.
So we left Gdansk, we went straight out over the Baltic Sea, we're going to go right over Copenhagen, so this is a busy bit of airspace actually, past Gothenburg. Stavanger's just there, hopefully labelled. And then the plan will be, we'll go up north, get ourselves really lost up north in the cold depths of Norway and Finland. That'll be for a future date, obviously, not today. Yeah, Stavanger, spectacular place to go. If any of you have seen Mission Impossible, I think it's the newest one, Ghost Protocol, they have a scene, I won't spoil the movie, it's a great film, and there's a scene that's filmed on a rock called Prekestolen, which is a rock that hangs out, I think it's a couple of thousand feet up into one of these valleys. I'm not sure which one of these it is, I think it's this one, and you can hike up there, and it's spectacular, and it's completely terrifying if you're not too happy with heights like me. Because you can go right up to the edge, there's no barriers, no safety nets or anything, you just look out straight over into the abyss, as it were. It's amazing. But that was used in the film. Yes, Captain Bag of the 747 SP is the next challenge. Are there any 747 SPs in X-Plane? I don't know. I know the A350 is heavily requested, so that's got to be my next one. But there are some more. Yeah, Video Man Chris. Yeah, exactly. You'll look out and see them, but it's always fine. And a big airliner can look really close. Absolutely. Foxtrot, great question. maximum altitude you can go in RBSM, knowing outcruise can go for plus 50 feet. 50 feet's fine. 200 is an absolute. You don't want to go more than that, and you'd have to report it for sure. A 200 feet deviation. Shake it. Is this the only Airbus family that has a yoke? Yes, I think it is. The A300 and the A310, I think, because the A310 is effectively a passenger shortened sort of version. JessX says, I played at FSX and got winds around 140 knots at flight level 390. Is that even possible? Absolutely. Yep. 140 knots, very possible. It's just a jet stream. That's a strong jet stream, no doubt. So you'd definitely feel that. And that would really... It could be pretty bumpy when you enter or leave that jet stream. But yeah, 140 knots is possible. You know, it often amazes me to think, if you got off this airplane now and were just standing outside up here, like you're on a mountain or something, the wind outside around us, it's 75 knots. So what's that? Maybe 90 plus miles an hour. So if you were just standing still here, you'd have 90 mile an hour winds, you know, faster than cars on the motorway or Autobahn or whatever, blasting you. And plus, it would be minus 26. Oh, that's total air temperature. Yeah. Where's static air temperature in this airplane? Down here? There it is, minus 53. So there's... It would be just unbelievably brutal place to have to stand. And people go up onto Everest and do it. But yeah, strong winds above our heads all the time. It's just lucky they don't... You know, they aren't that strong on the ground. I'm sure there are obviously physics reasons why, but it's it is lucky for our comfort of living on this planet, certainly. Better. Let's cheers from Morocco. Hope you're doing well in Morocco. Fantastic. Got people from all over. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant. Right, guys. How are we doing for time? Because last time we got to about this point and then I realised the timings were all wrong. I think it's on the... if I keep pressing buttons, eventually something will work for me.
November 505, Golf Charlie.
350 miles. Thank you for your subscription to... It's going to appear very shortly to a Mac on the web, 007. You're welcome, Ballet. Thanks for coming. Right, 355 miles, not that long. So, I don't think this will be too long of a flight. Go to discontinuity. Oh, let's fill up the rest of the flight plan. We can do that now. Star, Rivex.
Good evening, Scandinavian 87 Tango on ground and land weather request a radio check. Scandinavian 87
Expecting 3 Romeo. Plan for runway 29. No, they don't use 29. What am I doing? That's no good. Let's bring out
Scandinavian 87 Tango cleared Copenhagen. Top flight to Juliet departure.
So they got 310. They got a northerly sort of wind, 310. But they got some nasty weather. Glad I took some extra fuel. CB's gusting 30. Oh dear. Right, airports. Airports. So, no, 29. I expect 36 with that wind. And even better, obviously. So that's going to have an IS Zulu. 36. I will do some non-precision approaches in this airplane because a lot of the stuff we can take straight out of the 321 or 320. You know, we can use the flight path vector. We can set an angle. You can, if I press FBA on here, it lets me set the FBA, which is pretty cool. So I reckon we could get through a non-precision approach. But for today, I'm just sort of testing the waters again with this add-on to make sure I know what I'm doing after, as we saw at the start. So yeah. So let's do runway 36. I don't want to insert either. Return. See, the airport button is really useful in the new Airbus, where it takes you straight to the end. Right. Star. I don't think it's going to be the 3 Romeo. Let's see. Arrival. Rivex 3 Romeo. How does that take us? to Okobo. We need to come in via Tuxas. Yeah.
Sky Express 411. When
That's not
ready,
going to work.
flight level 100.
So it's not through Romeo.
100, Sky Express 411.
Let's try another Rivex to Quebec. Is that going to work for us? Oh no, don't want to do that. That'll be for a arrival on the Easterly. So we won't do the 2 Quebec or the 3 Romeo. I'll keep going, 2 Sierra. Factory subscription to Snowboard 21. I hope you're doing well. Oh no, we're not doing that. Not doing Sierra. Right, Tango, come on, Tango. Tuxas, there we go. So how do I reselect it? To Tango. Trans none, because it's probably already in there. 36. We don't want to approach 36, we want an RS 36, please. RS Zulu 36. Rivex 2 Tango. And we're going to go via Tuxas. So this is a classic one where we need to think about going straight from Rivex to the RS, making sure we have the energy for that insert. Gets us a nice top of descent, about 160 miles. Great. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. What I'm going to do then, guys, I'm going to go for a short break. We'll be back very soon when we're going to set up the rest of the arrival, obviously, and start talking about how we're going to get this mighty machine onto the ground in Stavanger for our late night flight. Lux Aviation Spotter, hello to you. If I keep pressing buttons, exactly, back there, exactly. Right, guys, so we'll be back very soon. There's another subscription. Peter Hayes, thank you very much. And
Embraer 174. Stop climb flight level 2.
we'll put some music on for you, and I'm just going to tell our traffic control.
Stop climb. Speed and control, good evening.
Oh, missed my chance there. I've got some music all queued up, hopefully.
Flight level 240 down to level 200.
Yeah. Yep, the Discord now has a section for cats. So it's in the crew room section of the Discord where you can post pictures of all your cats or other furry friend that looks after you whilst you're flying these aircraft around. I started it off with the cat that has made much noise on this stream and in the videos. So if you want to see what she looks like, she's sitting there looking very innocent.
5 Tango arrival and descending flight level 120, Finnair 819.
And control UPS 236. Can we step out of the flight deck for about 4 minutes, please?
UPS 236, it's approved. Actually, I'm going to close in a few minutes, so actually monitor Unicom 122.8 for now then.
1228 UPS 236. Thanks very much for your help tonight. Alright, even easier. 1228. Over we go. Right, guys. Let's have a outside view, the silhouette of the A300s, and see you guys very soon. Hello, hello everyone, can you hear me? Good, I think we're back. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the short break and that you are all still doing very well. Let's see if we are still in the right place. Good, we are. Okay, it's all coming together. Time to get ready for our arrival. Thanks so much to all of you for coming along, by the way. It's just great whenever we get, well, whenever, every time. Right from when I started streaming, it's always been amazing the amount of support we've had and the enthusiasm of all you guys coming along to the streams. And I was thinking about it after the last stream where we had lots of issues throughout the stream, and the simulator crashed, the computer crashed, and the stream software stopped working, and so on. And it's great that you guys are all willing to sit around and put up with it. And yeah, just thanks so much for being a part of the channel, as always, to everyone who takes the time to come along and be a part of it. It's I just absolutely love it. It's a great thing to do, and it's always nice to spend some time just chatting about airplanes and enjoying it with people. So yeah, thank you. Right, so there's the moon. X-plane. X-plane at night is still a really nice thing. That looks like Copenhagen Airport to me. So we are passing over there. Malmo Airport will be somewhere around here. I have said before, the only exception is you can't actually see runway lights that easily. It's amazing. You'll be flying airplanes at night and you think you'll see it like this. Never. Never. When I first started flying at night, I couldn't believe that's more like it. Just completely pitch black until you are pointing right down the runway. Otherwise it hardly appears. Excellent. Right. That is also really accurate. You get huge reflections on the windscreens of all the interior panels every time you, well, in all these modern aircraft, because they're just so full of lighting. But there you go. Foxtrot, I still remember when you had 50 subs. I think what you are now. Yeah, it's been amazing, and it's been thanks to you guys, as I've said before, and I'll say it again. It's thanks to you guys for taking the time to come along and support the channel and just chat and engage. Because I wouldn't do it without all the support of everyone who comes along and does engage with it. It's just great. Forward Cortina, thanks very much for your subscription. Just as we're talking about it, it's you know, it's something I enjoy doing. But the main reason I do this now is because I just enjoy the chat and the stuff we learn. I mean, we've already learnt loads about this airplane just today with you guys, which is great fun. And obviously I will go back into the Airbus. Thanks as well. I think another subscription just came through. I might have missed it, but yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, I remember 50 subscribers like it was yesterday, and it was brilliant. And then we got through to well, I mean, we're getting close to 28,000, which would be well, you know, it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean. It's very nice to meet those milestones, but it's also, it's not the reason to do it, but it is nice. I mean, we were at 24 not long ago, so it's been yeah, really nice to see so many people join the channel, and the Discord's been doing very well as well. So if you guys want to keep this chat going, or you have questions about flight simulators and that sort of thing, or you're struggling with something like I should have probably done before I tried to fly this airplane again, if you go to the Discord, it's full of amazing people who put a lot of time and effort into helping each other enjoy this to its maximum. So yeah, I can highly recommend that. Yes, Papa's put a lot of time into sorting out the Discord as well, as in giving it some extra features that it was well in need of, I think, and they seem to be working very well. So thanks again to Yes Papa for that work. Right. Michael says, just followed your Airbus MCDU tutorial, which helped. Perfect. Great. And that's brilliant. I love it when that happens. And I will do some more videos soon, I promise. And I think we're getting to the point now where the cold and dark tutorial for the 320 NEO is going to be reasonably manageable, but I've got to get to work on that and see how it works. But yeah, I think we're getting there. I'm looking forward to the fly-by-wire version 0.5. I think that's going to be really nice. Right. What was I doing? Looking around. Let's actually, what we'll do is check in with VATSIM. Have we got any Norway controllers? Oh, there are some. But it doesn't look like there's any controllers in Stavanger itself. Okay. Because obviously many times on this channel I set up something and then it's completely wrong. So let's just have a look through what we've got. Okay. Plan. Zoom in. Perfect. So after ROCAM, taking us all the way along, let's get this over. Like I say, fill the screen, that's always good. And then we got Rivex. Interesting, it's not tied up. Why didn't it tie up? Because it's got the rest of the arrival, no problem. This is why we check these things. So from Rivex we should go to Zulu Victor 735. Okay. Which is up to the north. There it is. Rivex Zulu Victor 735. Okay. Probably the way I entered it then. Let's quite simply press clear. In. Now that looks better. So this is, they're sometimes called lateral holding style things, whatever that means. I don't know if I've even said that right, but basically this is designed not for you to fly. It's purely a way for air traffic control to sequence aeroplanes. So we come in, it wants us to be flight level 80 at the 733, and yeah, and this is the problem with these. Right, so this is designed that we get down, we are down at flight level 80, then we can go down to 7,000 feet, then 4,000 feet, then 3,000 feet, and into Tuxas, and then into the ILS. Now, you could fly all of that. If you're flying around on your own, not with air traffic control, then that would be fine. But it's different because the way air traffic would really do this is you'll get down, you'll fly round, maybe to, I don't know, any of these points, depends how busy it is, and then you'll get a straight into the ILS, or maybe direct Tuxas, or even Rivex Tuxas, and you'll just skip the whole thing. But this is just considered more efficient than holding. The problem with holding is when you turn an airplane, it takes extra fuel because it has to turn, you know, your any sort of change in direction counts as an acceleration, you know, so an airplane has to fly straight and level in a straight line, burns less fuel than flying straight and level and turning at the same time, because it has to use some of the thrust to keep the speed and altitude in the turn, obviously. So this in a way is better than that, I suppose. Also, it stops you having everyone in the same place. And passengers passengers know when they're holding. Even if you don't talk about it, they'll know straight away by looking out the windows. They'll feel it turning all the time. And if you're in cloud and you're holding for a long time, you'll start to get passengers feeling a bit ill. It's quite interesting because you could be in the clouds, bouncing up and down a little bit and turning over and over, and it starts to disorientate people. So it's not very pleasant anyway. It's fine on a nice smooth day, but yeah, so that's why you end up with these. So we are going to go along and hopefully cut out most of this and go to Tuxas. So there's two things to consider here. If you think you're going to fly this whole arrival, you're sort of stuck. You have to be flight level 80 at the Zulu Victor 735 because it's got a line above and beneath it. The downside is it takes a lot of fuel to fly all to this level because it's effectively like having to hold. So if you know you're going to have to fly the whole arrival, it is nice if you can be allowed to be higher by air traffic control and descend whilst you're doing it, because that would be the most efficient way to do it. But anyway, so for descent planning, this is actually going to be all right, because even if we go straight in, Zulu Victor 735 is 25 miles out roughly, and that's going to put us at 8,000 feet straight in. We need 8, 16, 24 miles plus a bit to slow down, but from 24 miles, if we use the speed brake, we'll be fine. So it's fine. We can use the descent arrow that is loaded into the box. It will work out for us. In we go. Eventually to the RLS. 359 straight in, 111.35. Now was it in this plane that I didn't tune it last time? I have a horrible feeling it was. Got the ADFs. That is a really good question. I do not want to get wrong. RLS. Is it in here? No. So we normally have a RadNav page on the modern aircraft where I can tune all of this. Takeoff approach. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Faffinav. Yeah, exactly. It does look like it was already practicing that whole arrival. Now here's a question for you guys. Then you can help me out. I recently did a stream where I forgot to tune. There it is. I think it was in this one. I think I got it wrong. Yeah, let's tune it in. 111.35. Because I did the Boeing the other day and I thought it was in the Boeing. I'd forgotten. But actually, now I think it was this. That's DME. So it's got the DME with it. That's great. And there we go. Fantastic. Oh, well, we'll congratulate ourselves. Here's the VOR. So we can just tune up a VOR if we want. He says, and then doesn't manage. Don't fiddle. Do not fiddle. If it's working, leave it alone. So then took SAS 3,000 feet, 220 knots maximum, in onto the ILS. The ILS from 2,700 at Pidog, which is there. Yeah, that's fine. Anything exciting about the ILS? 3-degree approach. That's pretty good. Down we come. Normal sort of platform altitude. So we'll be... What flap should we be at that point? Well, we'll be... Try and be below 200 knots. If we was... actually 8 miles. No, let's try and be 180 knots as a maximum here, which will probably mean we need to have a couple of stages of flap out, and then we'll configure certainly by 6 miles. I think on the DME we'll do 6 miles today. Let's put in our minima. Doesn't seem to have an MDA, as it were, though the MCDU did have an MDA. So let's type it in. 229 in. Oh, there's another question. Is this a Cat D aeroplane? I don't think so, because the approach speeds are pretty low. Michael, better pushback did work fine for me. Absolutely. Green End. Yeah, I'm using the Thrustmaster HOTAS 4 for this one. Okay, flaps. What should we go with? Well, performance limiting. First issue. 2,700 meter runway. I want to come off at Alpha 1. I don't want to roll to the end. So yeah, let's do full flap. I think we did not full flap last time. So we'll do 30/40. Which is over here, if I can get to it. We also have to do this. And this is the same as doing a flap 3, flap full in the 320. So it's set to 30/40 for the GPWS. So the GPWS knows which one we're doing. Fantastic. In we come. Roll out. Alpha 1, off and in. Great. So we got a bit of a plan. The terrain is around. It's higher to the east, obviously, as we can see here. 4,800, even 4,100. Can we do a fixed page? That's something that I would use most certainly in the aircrafts. Not there. Not there. I don't know what tact mode does. No idea. In it? Nope. I don't think we can. Again, do not fiddle. Don't know what you're gonna break. Cool. So we've got a bit of terrain to the east. So our arrival, which we'll be doing procedurally, because we're not going to have any air traffic control to talk to, I don't think, will keep us above that until we get onto the ILS, at which point we'll be safe. It's a bit breezy there with a bit of a weather radar or weather issue. So let's make sure we have some weather displayed. So I'm going to take off terrain. Now, that's right. I remember last time getting the weather radar to display was not as simple. So that's definitely set there. Unless it's... Is it a separate screen? Perhaps this screen is the weather radar screen. Maybe it's not integrated onto this one like it is in the modern aircraft. That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But I don't know. I could be talking nonsense. Because I can't make it appear. In the cruise, you'd have that sort of 1 or 2 degrees down, just until you can see some sort of green returns on the top of the display. And that way you know it's actually transmitting and receiving signals, so it's working for you. Philip, I have to go. Thanks very much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you again another time. Pavel, thanks for coming, Pavel. Hope you're doing well. VP, I'd feel very confident if I heard you make an announcement from the flight deck. Good, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad, especially after what you've seen today. Goodness me. EFIS, FD. Well, okay, so these are, yeah, they're abnormal switches. No. Terrain mode GWS. Normal. No. No, I can't see anything else to make it display the weather on there. That's an interesting one. I don't know for sure whether it would be on here, and a lot of X-plane aircraft, the weather radar doesn't work particularly well. Oh, we've got some traffic showing, and as you can see, it shows up on the vertical speed 6 nautical miles range. There you go, and it's showing up behind us, plus 1,000, climbing. I meant to have a look at the VAT map actually. Has anyone come along with us today? Always worth checking. I'll try tilting it. I think I did this last time. We tilted it all the way down. Nothing showed up. Normally I'd expect to see what tilt is set on here. There's no WXR. What does test do? Oh no, don't do that. Stop fiddling with things. Map. There we go. Okay, so is anyone flying up here with us? No, I don't think so. Oh, there must be some sort of event on. There's a whole line of aircrafts. Loads of KLMs flying. Flying around. It's fantastic on VATSIM, really, all the different things you get. Looks like we could get some control. Yeah, there'll be some Norway control as we get up towards Stavanger. Excellent. Or maybe they'll make sure that my best laid plans are ruined. And the H1302 says this is a carryover from Concorde. Yeah, I can believe it. This probably was used in that. And I think there's quite a few aircraft around this age that had a similar system. Ah, yes, Papa was flying along. RJ957 getting crashed. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, well, I've had plenty of experience of that as well. Yes, Papa. Yeah, absolutely. Weather radar is in op. There you go, Joseph. Yeah. Cool. No worries. It's a complicated thing to add in. No doubt. So, let us... run input stop. That's interesting. I wonder what that's about. Could be related to what we talked about earlier. I wonder. So the approach checklist is next. So what I'm going to do is bring up my sort of flow. Done the takeoff action, stop climb cruise, descent prep, ecam memo check. So ecam memo is all looking good, totally clear. Weather and landing information obtain. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's grab that updated weather for Stavanger. So they got a QNH of 1010. I can't set that yet because they're all connected, but you would probably set that on the standby one as a backup. Temperature of 8 degrees and still breezy from the west northwest. So that's going to be, yeah, a bit of a crosswind for landing. Certainly 28011 is the standard winds. Landing animation set. Fuel check. How are we doing for fuel? Loads of tanks on this plane, including a trim tank in the tail. Oh, look, it's using it. We've got, what's that, 500 kilos in the back. Interesting, yeah. And then 3.6 in each outer, 1 ton on each inner. Yeah, that is a complicated fuel system, isn't it? Big airplane though, so I suppose it needs it. Anyway, we got 9.68, so that's enough to get us there. Landing elevation set, so yep, so at sea level. FMS program, decision height set on FCU. So this one's a decision height set. I guess we can do both. I can't see the harm. 200 it is. Probably more likely to say something out loud for us if we set that there. Order brake. Now, I'm going to go medium because I want to come off without rolling all the way to the end. So let's get slowed down nicely and then alpha 1. Oh, there's some traffic out there. FDX. 1300 below, climbing. Fantastic, amazing. Amazing, that sim is brilliant. Good, and order brake we've done, approach briefing we've done. So next step will be the descent. Looking good, 40 miles to go. Who'd have thought so? Let's have the terrain back, seeing as our weather radar isn't going to work for us today. Turtle kayak thanking Yes Papa for the sacrifice. Yeah, fingers crossed X-Plane has made made Yes Papa one of the chosen ones tonight. Billy Man Chris, just downloaded Manta 320 SimPilot livery. Excellent. Yep, that's available on the Threshold forum. Or Threshold downloads. Using it to practice landings in San Diego. Hometown. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, Video Man Chris, America is on the list. It's becoming an option. Maybe we'll take the A350 over there. I mean, that would seem most suitable, wouldn't it? Once I figure out how to turn that thing on. Sure it's possible. I wonder what that weather's going to be doing. I wonder if I can see, has anyone made an approach into Stavanger? Something that, this sounds terrible, but something that I do, or people do, even in real life. You know, you go onto flight radar and you can see where people are making their approaches and sometimes judge in advance which runway is in use. Obviously not reliably, but it just might give you an idea if you're not sure, if there's a few runway possibilities. But sadly on VATSIM there's no one there about to do it. That plane that just crossed us has, they're going up to Oslo Gardermoen. Toblerone, hello, another great name. I hope you're doing well. A few people in Bergen tonight. Sorry, I'll stop sitting here reading the the VATSIM map. Something I did mention in the previous stream was this is such a massive display panel. It's got to be one of the biggest out there. Maybe the 747 Classic is similarly sized. It's just so tall. It's so hard to see over it. I've seen it in videos as well, and it still looks pretty big. I know sometimes in the sims it feels it when it might not be. But yeah, it's a serious piece of metal in front of you. I suppose it's got to fit a lot of things on it, in particular this engine display. To think they managed to get all of this and this stuff all squeezed together into one of these screens. It's great, yeah. Because I mean, it's got the same amount of screens as the 320. You've got the 2 for each pilot and the 2 in the middle vertically, and that's it. Yeah. Alright, oil gauge is working. I'm quite impressed with the performance of this add-on, considering how many movable sort of 3D gauges there are in it. So oil quantity, yeah, we haven't lost any. That's lucky. Often the oil, you know, you'll get on and it might say 22, and then when you start the engines, it just drains because it gets sucked into the engine and it goes right down. And what have we got on the temperature? Is that, I'm assuming, so under 200 degrees. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Should try autopilot 1. That was a great fix from Foxtrot earlier on. We definitely needed that. So TCAS is interesting now. If we're planning our own descent, we've got traffic above us and behind us. They're not really climbing. That little up arrow suggests they're climbing, but they aren't. So it seems to be a bit of a bug, but there we go. Yeah, it is a nice add-on, Toblerone, definitely. It's very good. So, shall we try a profile descent? Effectively a managed descent, the true Airbus way. Something else I wanted to talk to you guys about, actually. We mentioned a few streams ago that merchandise was of interest to people, so I've got... we're getting closer to that. There's going to be a few, I hope, nice products that we'll be able to get available if anyone should choose to be interested. So that is hopefully going to be within the next week or so, but it just depends when I get my samples, as it were. I need to see if it's worked out all right. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Coming soon. Oh no, we've got traffic at our level. Dear, right next to us now. Well, so it says. Can't see them. Can't see them. No. Oh, don't know. I don't know if TCAS is simulated in... well, it looks like it is. I don't know if it will give us a traffic alert or not. Although that little arrow would probably be saying down if they're getting lower. Should be pointing the other way. But we won't complain. It says 6 miles. Is that just fixed, or can you change it on these older style ones? I don't know. Oh, he has his bugged. There we go. No, I won't trust it then. Seems to be having a bit of an interesting moment. Right, top descent coming up. And we're getting a message from Norway Control 12155. 12155. This is where all my plan gets ruined and we start our descent simultaneously and have to do everything. Always the way. You try not to read back on top of people, but sometimes if they just go silent like that, you end up having no choice. Where are we routing to? Amsev, Norway. Good evening, UPS 236, flight level 340, direct Amsev.
UPS 236, Polaris, hello. Clear direct Rivex when ready, descent flight level 100.
Cleared direct to Rivex and cleared when ready to descend flight level 100, UPS 236.
And UPS 236, you cleared the Rivex 2 Tango arrival, runway 36.
Rivex 2 Tango, runway 36. UPS 236, thank you. Oh, look at that. It happens. It actually happens. We totally guessed and we were right. Rivex 2 Tango, runway 36. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, flight level 100.
6 Echo India, Polaris, hello.
Now, I think if you
able direct repump.
click, yeah, if you click it does it.
That waypoint is not on my list, so it's not in the...
Right, 100 is in there.
Phoenix 6 Echo India, roger.
Let's go. It says profile. So do I have to do anything to engage the descent? I would have thought so. There's not many airplanes that would just start the descent when they feel like it. There's the turn. Any moment now. Profile does. Ah, there we go. Down we go. I'm not sure whether that was because I clicked it or whether it would have done that anyway, but I doubt it. There's not. Normally you have to press at least one other thing. Even in the modern Airbus you have to turn it and then pull or push to make sure it does start the descent. Because what if you wanted to stay higher for a bit longer, I suppose. But there we go. Excellent. Got flight level 100. It's blue. It's armed there. Quite neat. Video scale here. Pretty good. So it says we're slightly low already. Seems odd.
ISO 204, push and start.
I'm assuming this behaves like a glide slope.
Is 1007.
1007 on the QNH, pushes upward.
Fantastic. I think that's all working out. I think we can get rid of that dome light now. Time to let our eyes adjust. Yeah, we don't even need the storm light. Although you guys let me know if that's no good, because I appreciate it could be a bit harder to see on a stream, or I know streams tend to compress a bit worse when it's all dark on the screen. So you guys let me know.
221, climb flight level 310. Disregard. Climb flight level 310, Scandinavian 1221. Nautical 6 Delta Victor, climb flight level 310.
Climb flight level 310, Nautical 6 Delta Victor, thank you.
Nautical correction, Scandinavian 26 Mike, contact Polaris Control 125.7.
Polaris 125.7, Scandinavian 26 Mike, god kväll, hallå.
UPS 236, clear direct Tuxas.
Direct Tuxas, thank you. UPS 236. So, exactly as we thought, we don't need to fly that arrival because it's too quiet. So, we're skipping out all of this. We're going to go to Tuxas, pretty much ready for the approach. We love hearing things like that. Tuxas. Inserts. Off we go. And there you go. Straight in, took that, and then into the ILS. Fantastic. Just what we want to do. Yeah, Nico, the aircraft is available from iniBuilds directly. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. And I was wondering, I know they're planning to update it. I don't know how I'm going to have to get that. I suppose probably a reinstall from their website. Wow, really? Is this idle thrust? I suppose it is interesting. There's no particular way to see that the engines are at idle, I suppose. It looks like that's the commanded thrust. It's quite handy. Oh, actually, no, I do know how. Thrust levers, of course. This is a Boeing style, or a normal style. Put seatbelts on now, just before I forget later. Let's put the donut on again. Yeah. Yeah, these move in here, don't they? They added it on the 320 family. You get that flashing thrust idle to show you the engines are at idle, but you can't really tell looking at the thrust levers because obviously they're not moving. And we've got meter gauge here. Look at that. I was going to say I was trying to work out what this was showing us. Now that's good because it's even quite rare to, well, even if you fly somewhere with meters in the A320, it's quite rare to actually use the button to display it. But yeah, there it is, available to us. That's not used very much these days. It was used more often 20 years ago, but even now, a lot of places that used to run on meters, I think, have converted over. Places like, well, places in Russia and so on. So you don't see it that often. Yeah, that's cool. There's a 5, yeah. Stavanger is a lovely town. And I normally have some Wikipedia facts ready for these destinations. I wish I'd had, yeah, a bit more of a chance to do that. Like I say, this is one of the most spectacular starts to a stream I've ever had, where I had, within 10 minutes of the stream starting, I was looking at Steam saying download remaining 60 gigabytes or something. Luckily it found most of the stuff it needs, but there we go. Right, VL. What does VL do? And land. Now land is what we're going to press for the approach. VL, I'm not sure. Not sure. Let's look in the guidebook. They do. It's a really good manual you get with this. It's got a normal checklist, then it's got an expanded sort of condensed procedures, just each line, and then it finally has the actual instructions that give you step by step what you need to have done. So you can definitely pick up this aircraft quite well if you study it enough. Certainly more than I've done. So it tells you, for example, ECAM memo check, and then it says what you're actually looking for. Check the status, note any landing capability downgrades, that sort of thing. So yeah, very good. So DH on the FC we've done. Acceleration, spoiler, reverse. Yeah, excellent. So, descent. FCU out knob, turn to select cleared altitude and pull. FMH, check. P thrust, P des arms. Ah, there you go. So you did need to put it. So that has been a feature. And then we'll do the approach checklist. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Ah, VOR localized there. Very good, thank you. Oh, and China still use meters. Yeah, meters is just another form of altimeter that they use in some parts of the world. They'll just tell you to climb, I don't know, 7,000 meters. just a different way of doing things. Often they'll also use meters and QFE instead of QNH. So QNH is your altitude above sea level. So we're 23,100 feet above the sea. But if your airport was 500 feet above the sea level, then we're only 22,500 feet above that. So It's yeah, not used very commonly, not in the West. The West will often use, or nearly always use, QNH and feet. But then America uses inches, and we use millibars. So it's just funny how much, it's one of the most standardized industries out there, I'd have thought, worldwide, but it's still full of little things, little details that change for between countries. I know that we're doing another night flight, and our 757 was a night flight, and it's just because I set the time to real time. When I didn't, I got a lot of questions, which is fair enough. It didn't all add up, and the times were wrong. What do you guys think? You let me know. What do you prefer? Do you prefer real time, or do you not mind, and we can just pick whatever time we like, daylight or whatever? Do you prefer daylight or night flight? It's one of those things. It's purely up to you guys, really. Yeah, and the H132. Yeah, Russia did. They swapped back to. I say back. They have swapped to feet, I think, recently. America, exactly. I thought it was like a taximeter, Bernard. Well, there's tachometers in piston engine aircraft that will run a bit like a meter, and then when you finish flying the airplane, you have to write down how much tacho you used up, so that it can they can charge you for your hours of using their engine. It's interesting. It's got a VOR and localizer button. The thing that struck me odd about flying the modern Airbus was that you can't tell it to follow a VOR course. So does this mean we could get it to track a VOR course? Because if you're flying a VOR in the 320, you can't make it lock onto a VOR radial, whereas in lots of other airplanes you can. It's quite a common thing, actually. It did surprise me. But what you'd do instead is just use navigation mode and let the airplane work it out itself. But still. Yep. Meters per second as well, Kabrowski. Yep. And that is an interesting one, because if you obviously the reason we want to keep all these numbers the same as each other is to stop any risk of conversion messing up. So you'll probably all be familiar with the Gimli glider, where their fuel was loaded on I forget which way round it was, either pounds and not kilograms, or vice versa, or litres, and that caused a mess because they didn't have the fuel they thought on board. Same with wind speed. If air traffic tells you the wind is 210 at 15, you might think, oh, that's okay, but if it's in meters a second or whatever, it's suddenly not. So yeah. Video man Chris, vote daylight to be able to enjoy the delivery in the airplane. Cool. Daylight is better for replays, but lifetime more realistic. Yeah, that's the thing. The daylight does make everything look a bit nicer, doesn't it? Thanks for your subscription to Joseph Miller. Thanks for coming along. Darian Naho, good to see you again. I'm not going to answer that question. How many game crashes did I miss? I'm not going to answer because I don't want to let the explain gods know. Yeah, land switch for the ILS is what I'm planning on using. That will arm both the localizer and the glide slope. So if we're cleared for the ILS, we can use land. It is possible just to be cleared for the localizer only, and then further with the glide slope, or later on with the glide slope, or whatever. There are plenty of reasons why that might happen, but still. Yeah, once we go west, Andy, absolutely, it would be it'll be daylight when we're in the US anyway. It's just because I think I've done every stream, within an hour or two of the time. It's always at this time, and I keep saying I should mix it up a bit, but and one reason would be we'll get some daylight flying in. But I think we'll do the next one in daylight. I think I agree. I think we've done enough night flying. And I wanted to sort of show you Stavanger, but now I realise that's not going to happen, is it? We're going to see a whole load of dark. I mean, I'm even struggling on my screen to see what I'm looking at. However, the night lighting effects are nice in this sim, as we've said. No, exactly, yeah. That's answered there for you, Darren. Checkpoints. I'm always amazed how your stream approaches. It will take so long or goes so calm. When I fly myself, I have trouble keeping up. Well, I can tell you when I first started flying airliners, so I can actually remember my first approach in an airliner and landing, and what I remember is that feeling you're describing there, and I was hardly keeping up. Probably you could say you weren't keeping up, because on your first flight on an airliner, you'll have obviously the pilot with you will be a training captain of some variety, so they'll be very experienced flying with brand new pilots, and you'll also have another pilot on the jump seat watching to make sure nothing too exciting happens. So it's sort of part of what's expected, but yeah, it does feel really fast. So that feeling's normal, yeah, and you'll get there.
606 Sweden offline, continue Unicom 122.8, bye bye.
122.8, bye bye, Scandinavian 606.
Charlie, Sierra Delta Victor Hotel, contact Polaris Control 125 Delta.
Video man Chris said they like but don't know the texture back for Las Vegas comes alive at night. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Vegas would be good actually at night. So yeah, Vegas has got to be one of the places to go at night, that's for sure. TAT in frequent icing range. TAT is -10. Yeah. Very much icing range. We are sort of we're near these clouds. Get some engine NTS on. Oh, there's a good spool up sound. Excellent. Wow, they really came to life there. Because we were getting slow. Right, we're about to get high, so I'm going to have to get some more descents. UPS 236, request descent.
UPS 236, descent flight level 90.
Descent flight level 90, UPS 236. Oh dear. 90.
Austrian 2 Kilo Mike, descent 6,000 feet. QNH 1007.
Oh, I don't know what it did with the speed there actually. Yeah, we haven't leveled off yet. What am I talking about? There you go. So there's me calmly acting like I know where we are, but actually, you know, it was spooling up just to accelerate. It obviously got much slower than it wanted to be. And I don't know why it didn't put the thrust on a bit earlier, but there we go. Passengers would have thought something strange was going on there. Still in profile descent, flight level 90. We'll take that. Controller's probably wondering what on earth I was asking about descent for. Right, let's try and let's set up a progress page. Echo November Zulu Victor 36. Also, I've done many approaches on stream. There we go, 45 miles to go. 13,000 feet, so we need about 45. Great. I've done plenty of streams where the plan changes as we start descent and I struggle to keep up the whole way down. Plenty. Yeah, Walking Dog, I could agree with that. This is one of the better sounding airliners out of the box. Yeah, you don't have to do any... I wouldn't want to modify it. Sounds great, and it sounds great in the flight deck and outside.
Polaris, good evening, identified.
Really distinctive. The A300 has, yeah, you can hear them on the ground at airports. You instantly know that's an A300 without having to look at it.
UPS 236, continue descent 6,000 feet, QNH 1010.
Send 6,000 feet, QNH 1010, UPS 236.
Ryanair 9 Lima, descent 7,000 feet, QNH 1004.
1010.
Setting 7,000 with QNH 1004.
Oh, not that way. There we go, 1010. That's all set. So that's now going down to 6,000 feet. It knows. It's clever stuff. Jake Morley saw a DHL A300 take off at Heathrow today. Fantastic. Yeah. They're one of the last operators as well. But it's funny that these freight aircraft seem quite happy with these older generation airplanes. Engines are a lot louder than others. There you go. Yeah, these older engines. They haven't got the same features. Zach says, flown in and out of Gdansk a bunch of times for a nearby film festival. Lovely little airport with great Metrolink. Sorry I missed it. Yeah, missed anything, but yeah. Oh, well, you did miss Gdansk on departure. Yep, Gdansk is lovely. Yeah, absolutely agree. Most definitely.
Austrian 2 kilo Mike, descend 3,000 feet via Idava, clear direct.
Alright, let's get rid of dome lights again. Are we entering those clouds? We'll leave that engine NTS on if you're not sure. It can be hard to tell at night. You might lose sight of the stars, but it could just be haze or something like that. Getting low on that profile again, so it's going to probably have to do exactly what it did earlier, boot in the engines. Because of course the original A300 didn't have any of these style screens. This is a considerably upgraded A300 really. You've got all these colour screens for us here, which you just don't get. The original style one was all like a 747 Classic really. You had the little artificial horizon, not much better than that really, just sitting in front of you. Okay, 10,000 feet. Let's get some landing lights on. I'll put the wing lights on. Give the freight something to look at. I think that's it. Now the logo's going to stay on.
ISL 204,
Good stuff.
identified, climb flight level 340, clear direct runway.
Excellent.
Okay, runway and 350 now for ice air 204.
Yeah, there we go. Starting to light up the airplane. Something for you guys to look at. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Can't see that great livery. Although, if you're flying freight, which is the only version of the A300 we have available to us for now, because they're going to release the passenger one soon, I hope. Is that in the next updates? But yeah, it's freight is nighttime so often. Because, of course, people send things and they want them arriving the next day. All that sort of stuff. So we get the blue level off arrow, which is showing us leveling off there. It's lost its vertical profile, but that's no problem. 6,000 feet there will be fine. DME 27.9, so it looks like the DME for the airport is showing up now. 27, yeah, exactly. So the ILS will be appearing fairly soon. Look at that, brilliant. Should do the approach checklist, I think. Signs set. Oh, zoom in. Signs are set. Yep, they are. Briefing confirmed. Ecam status checked. Altimeters are set on both sides of the QNH. Minima is set. Both. Ignition as required. Landing elevation set. So ignition, landing, elevation are done. But yeah, let's set the 200 on this side as well. Excellent. Project is complete.
236, descend 3,000 feet via Gdansk, clear ILS, Zulu, runway 36.
Send 3,000 feet and via Gdansk, cleared for the ILS Zulu 36, UPS 236. There it goes again, suddenly accelerating. I don't know. 3,000 feet via Gdansk. So air traffic control have cleared us down. That's below some of our MSAs, as it were, because we know there's some terrain above 3,000 feet. So is that safe? Well, it took us 3,000 feet is safe. But what we do need to do is, he said via Tuxas cleared for the ILS Zulu 36. That means if we stay at 3,000 feet from Tuxas to Pidug, Pidug is also where we need to start our descent from 27. So actually, after Tuxas, we need to descend to 27 to make sure we make that arrival. I love these charts. Again, I've said it before, I wish we had this in real life. That's great. Well, Mike, born a few kilometres from Gdansk. This is always the airport when I come to visit family. Excellent. Yeah, there's a nice big modern airport as well. Version 1.1 soon. Excellent. Yeah, that'll be good. A300 has a vertical on the MFD. I wonder why they got rid of it. Yeah, the Boeings all have this style thing, I think, the vertical on the MFD, but once they integrated the altimeter onto the PFD, they seem to be happy with it on there. It works fine, although the only downside of the green dot is it doesn't show you how far off you are as easily, I don't think, as a lateral profile. I think the 380 and the 350 have that sort of whole bottom section of the navigation display showing you where you are and where the terrain is and all this clever stuff. It's amazing, really amazing stuff. Right, well, we are clear for the ILS. We're now within 17 miles, 250 knots. I mean, And we're going to level off exactly at Tuxas. So that's a pretty sporty profile because I need to slow down as well. I don't want to arrive at Tuxas. Okay, this reckons Tuxas 233 knots. Okay, well, we'll trust it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, that could work. Tuxas at 4,000, Pidog at 2.7. That's quite a lot of height to lose. That could be a bit sporty. We shall see. The real aircraft, even the A320, is a little bit sporty. And by sporty, I mean it's a bit fast, I think. There we are, visual with the airport. Starting to come to life out there. Excellent. Yeah, constraint now, Alexander. Yeah, you're right. That would make more sense, really. The only downside of constraint is it doesn't show us what the aircraft is thinking, but it does show us what it's trying to make sure it meets. So yeah, so that gives away that it's aiming for 210 at Pidog. It looks like it thinks, yeah, Pidog 210. Perfect.
Skyways 5077, Polaris, good evening.
So here's the problem. It's targeting 210. It's not going to manage it because it's got to descend as well. So I'm going to put out a bit of speed brakes. Oh, a bit less than that. They're very powerful on this airplane. Huge, great speed brakes. Oh, we can see the airplane. Look at that. There they are. Nice big panels. I love that you can see the circuit breaker panel lit up inside. What's the speed limit on the slats? 250.
260. Nautical 768, increase the speed to 300.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Roger, speed 300, shuttle 668.
1010. Sorry, turning all the wrong buttons. Let's now set this to 27. We're past Tuxas, so we can get out to 27. That's fine. Let's get that first stage of flap out. And I want to look here because one of my favourite bits of engineering on any airliner is this bit. This sort of interior slat that pops out from underneath. That's just great. What a mechanical marvel. Right. Distance wise, 9 miles. Yeah, let's get slowing down. If you're 200 knots at 10 miles, that's a good maximum. Slowing down. Right, we're clear for the approach. Let's do lands. We're going to be a little bit high, but there we go. Let's get the speed brakes in. And armed. Could work out. Cat 2. Let's put on the other autopilot. Cat 3. Just doing a gentle descent. Working out. Okay. Glide slope localizer are armed. Hopefully that localizer appears very soon. Next stage of flap out. Please keep descending. Oof, just about. Glide slope lock star. That was a risk of getting high there. We've got one more stage of flap left. 30-40 to go. So I don't think we need that yet. 8 miles out. Although we are a bit fast, so let's put the gear down. Gear is down. Ah, you guys can't see anything. I'm going to put the light just to dome light. There you go. So the gear's now down. I suppose I'll need to get landing clearance for this. 6 miles. It's going to spool out. That's no good. It's not got managed speed all the way down, is it? Should have thought of that one. So there we go. Thrust coming back to idle. Less drag, interesting. Takeoff approach, VAP 135. So we need to set that. Ah dear. All the work they're making us do. 135, final stage of flap, limit 175. There we go. Final bit of flap. We need to get our clearance from our traffic control, which we'll do very shortly.
National 8 for Yankee, clear direct Achtung. Roger, clear direct Achtung. National 8 for Yankee.
EPS 236, final runway 36.
Flight 260. The first UPS 236, runway 36, cleared land, wind 280 degrees, 16 knots.
Cleared land 36, UPS 236. Crosswind from the left, ties in with what we're sitting on our navigation display, so not expecting too much wind shear. That's something that's always worth doing, is if you get given a wind on the ground, and you can compare it to what wind you're experiencing where you are, and it might give you an idea if there's any major change coming or wind shear. Not much you can do at this point, except prepare as best you can, but there you go. We got all the flap we need out. Okay, so I guess landing checklist. Landing gear down. Yeah. Water brake medium. Anti-skid checked. Yep. Slats flaps. We got, is it 30-40? And spoilers arms. Got that little red ring, which is what they use on the windows in the 320 family. But there we go. All good. Let's bring up that screen. We're clear to land. Let's give it a go. Let's turn off that light. Don't click too many things too quickly. It's never good for the sim. And I need to bring up the yoke so I can press the disconnect button. And the thrust levers in this airplane do their own magic. So we'll just, yeah, we'll just do our best. Right, autopilot disconnect. It's in land. So it does that about the same point by 350 feet. Auto thrust is still engaged. Gonna need a bit of rudder to get the drift off. Oh, try not to over control.
Contact and report the sign speed to Polaris 125.
Similar sort of pitch angle to a 320. Slightly high.
5.7. High speed indicated the shuttle.
Flare, drift off. Oh, there we go. It did the idle. Brilliant. And toggle reverse. Try and keep it straight. Haha, reverse unlock. And I can see it's decelerating, using quite a bit of rudder to keep it near the centre line. Yeah, good crosswinds. Amazing. That upwind wing needed a bit more into-wind aileron, and that's not something you do on the 320. Shows you how these things, yeah, they go out of your mind when you don't use them enough. Right, reverse is stowed. Let's take over from the brakes. Let's get ourselves off the runway. We're here. Look at that glorious machine. I wonder if he'll have anywhere he wants us to park. Should have turned those on. That would have been helpful. 256. Oh, that's funny. That's very similar to what we got last time, I think, in the A300. It's something I need to get some practice with for sure. But yeah, there we go. We'll have a look at the replay soon, no doubt. UPS 236, runway vacated.
UPS 236, taxi, yeah, confirm just once again that you're heavy.
Affirm, UPS 236.
Yeah, UPS 236, then Golf and park on taxiway Sierra.
Golf on taxiway Sierra, thank you UPS 236, thanks for your help. Right, let's bring it to a stop. Plugins, heavy tab. Golf. Where's Sierra?
Ryanair 9 Lima, so yeah, once vacated.
Where is Sierra? Should have had this one ready. Parking. No, it's obviously not it.
ISR 858, contact the Copenhagen Control 121.37.
Or I take it the wrong way. We've already got that one. So where has it gone?
37 for ISR 858, thanks for the service.
Parking stands and coordinates, there we go. It's got to be a bit better. Golf and Sierra.
Scandinavian 356, cleared.
Oh, there's Sierra. Yeah, obviously there's nowhere for us to go. Right, so, a bit of a left turn, and then we'll find Sierra. So we have a Golf 3.
Scandinavian 260, report your Mach number.
Yeah, left turn here, and then right on Sierra. Great. So we're off the runway, let's get that dome light on, get the strobe light off, get the landing lights off, get that APU master switch on, and start. Engine anti-ice off, we don't need that anymore. Flaps coming up to 0. Spoilers in. I didn't manage that last time either, because they deployed automatically, and must remember to set a keybind for that. Weather radar can come off, and afternoon checklists. Slats flaps retracted, transponder. Yeah, of course. Let's get that to transponder. Weather radar off, spoilers disarmed, APU start. Yeah, well, I failed with those spoilers again. No way to click them. I won't click it too many times at the risk of breaking everything.
Scandinavian 356, is it alright if I can pop out the cockpit for 2 minutes?
Off we go.
Good
Ah,
question.
that's
If
what I
I'm
missed.
fine to her, let's see.
There we go. I thought it was looking dark out there.
Just 2 minutes. Yeah, that's approved. Call them back.
Okay, we'll go park on Sierra, and then we will go and have a look at the replay. Always tricky at night, but I think the conditions are clear enough today. We might get a half decent view of it. Yeah, it's a really interesting airplane to land. It's nice that the thrust levers idle for us. Wow, we really use the brakes. I mean, medium auto brake all the way down to a stop like that. Yeah, 310. I mean, that's not that hot. It's fine. I mean, the modern 320 family also complains. It says brakes hot above 300s, but it usually takes them a bit longer to reach that because it takes time. You'll see them slowly increasing for the next couple of minutes. Right. Is this Sierra? I hope so.
Polaris Control, good evening. Scandinavian 354 passing flight level.
Yep, Sierra. There it is.
410.
Scan 354, Polaris hello, climb flight level 350.
350 for Scandinavian 354.
Air Canada 838, contact Polaris 1.
I might be able to get those. Yeah, spoilers down. I just moved the thrust levers to maximum for a second without letting the engine spool up, and it does work. Okay, I think we can just park on the right here. Let's do that.
Runway Control, good evening. KLM 148.
Get ourselves off the taxiway.
Level 350 over
Right, turning on to stands. Amazing light effects, the way it can light up the scenery.
KLM 148, Polaris, good evening.
Off. And turn off, off. Lost sight of everything now. Where are we? Not bad, that's alright. I do like the wing lights, they do seem to light up a lot of the ground. No, not enough. Keep going. Got the tow bar there ready to get us out. Oh dear. Got to sort out the brake system as well for me. Right, AP is available. That's on. Definitely says available. Generator's on. Let's get those engines off. Great. Right, so welcome to Stavanger. I hope you've enjoyed the flight. It's always interesting to try out these strange and wonderful airplanes, especially such a good detailed one like this. Thank you guys for your help. It's been really interesting to get, well, it's been incredibly helpful to get the tips from you guys for how to do it. I really appreciate you guys coming along, as I said earlier, for the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more streams, more videos coming soon, and we're going to be, next stream I'm expecting to be in the Toliss Airbus. That's the current plan. So we're back in the classic Airbus where it all began. Right, let's see if we can convince the simulator to let us have a bit of a replay. So, out of final approach, there we are. Quite a fast approach because of my complete forgetfulness that we need to actually select the approach speed instead of just letting the computer do it for us. And down we go. And you can see, yeah, you can see the drift. So there's the runway straight ahead, and you can see the airplane pointing into wind as it needs to. You're very welcome, yes, Papa. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for the man, Chris. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Joseph as well, and Checkpoint. It's yeah, just great for you guys to join it. Thanks so much. Right, let's do our usual then. So pause that there. View external runway. And I think somewhere there should be close enough. We'll try and get, let's get back a bit. Okay. See how it worked out. So yeah, so in the 320 family, whenever you remove the rudder like that to point down the runway just in the flare, you don't really need to put any interwind aileron. By interwind aileron, I mean, as the wind was from the left, I had to use right rudder, so I should have used a bit of left aileron. But if you don't, you'll get what happens here, which is I move it to the right, and then that upwind wing lifts, and you land on the downwind wheel, which is not ideal. It worked out okay, but yeah, it's the modern 320 family aircraft. That's actually, the fly-by-wire system accounts for that, and it doesn't let it happen, not as much. And I have shown that in a really early video I've done. where I talk about crosswind landings, and I show the fact that the fly-by-wire system is doing that for you. So let's, if I bring it up here, you'll see, so there's the drift on. So right rudder, and then it needed a bit more. I did put some in, you can see some, but it needed a little bit more. So there we go. Great. Excellent. So what we'll do is, I'll just move it back as ever. We have our outro music coming very soon. I think it's set up anyway. So, what I'll say is, once again, thank you very much for watching. Alexander, glad you enjoyed it as well. And yeah, merchandise to come soon. I promise I'll announce that either in a stream or, yeah, probably in a stream. I think we'll get that going live. And I will see you guys in another video soon. Thank you very much for watching, and have a very pleasant evening. Oh dear, I'm struggling to get this airplane in the right place. There we go. Right. Have a lovely evening. Thank you very much. Keep safe and well. We'll see you again in a video soon. Bye-bye.